apparently, if you glance at France now, all you see is people arguing over whether something is Greek mythology or Christian mythology.
I thought all
That
you,
has set this country
all
on
you-
fire. People are losing their minds over here.
all you hear
Well,
about France at the moment is how much shit people have dropped in the Seine.
why don't we just cut cut the lead and make things easy and combine them both? So say Jesus wakes up Lazarus from the grave by chucking Zeus's lightning at him until Lazarus gets his lazy butter.
I think that sounds pretty good.
I mean, if you wanted to really rile people up, you could go one better and say the similarities between the origins of the god Mithras and the coming of Jesus Christ are very similar.
They
So
are
most
very
people-
similar.
Osiris is almost identical.
I was about to say.
Jesus.
Yes,
And you go
very
back even
similar.
further into the Mesopotamian cultures, and their god is very,
Well, when
very
it-
similar.
yeah.
Which is an
When it
interesting
comes
way
to
to start
God,
the stream when you think
all-
about it, isn't it?
They all have one thing in common. They really get my main LARP character angry.
On a
So-
totally unrelated note, have you guys seen that latest Humble Bundle?
I
What
was
is it now?
about
The
to
yeah,
put
the
this
Doctor Who.
one up, actually. Are you talking about the Doctor Who one, perchance?
No, I'm talking
No.
about the Free League
Free League one.
Alchemy
yes.
VT.
Let's
Yes,
just
but,
look at this.
but
Well,
if
now
you're
brought
not
it up.
interested in Alchemy VTT, then it doesn't matter because you can still download all the PDFs. So you can basically get all the PDFs for all those games.
Yep. I have to admit, I turned away from it pretty quick because of the mention of alchemy, and obviously, since we don't use alchemy VTT here, I thought I had no use for it. But, nevertheless, yes, there is indeed a plethora of stuff on Humble Bundle from those great guys at Free League. In fact, I'm still scrolling now. I finally reached the bottom. There we go. Whew. There
I
is
hate that it
a
makes you
lot.
verify every time. Alright,
Well
let's see.
Sean, once again, being the ninja that he is, snuck in there without me noticing. Morning. In which
That's the
case...
provision, ain't it?
Yes, indeed. Viva la Dirt League. Anyway, I am going to, since everybody's here, just confirm that everybody who can is logged into Foundry and has managed to successfully load in. Certainly appears to me. Everyone who wants to hear Sirenscape is hearing something. Super. In which case, I shall hit the stop button on the ship rumble and hit the stop button on
Don't
the
need alchemy.
intro theme. I will play our intro video and we'll get right back to some Star Trek after these messages and some Humble Bundle promotion. Excuse me, maybe I'll even
I
learn to
love
speak
Mutiny
properly when we come
Zero.
back. What was that, Mike?
Bundling.
I say I love Mutant Year Zero.
It is awesome.
It's fun. It's lethal. You better have another character ready to go any minute.
Not as bad as Traveller.
Well, we'll get to
As
that when we get
Traveler,
to that.
yeah, you die in the character creation.
Blimey.
Dragon Bane's good too.
Well, excuse us, folks. We're just going to play our intro video, and then we'll be right back. See you in a couple of moments. Don't go away.
I don't need alchemy.
Oh, go on. You really do.
I really don't.
But you get the PDFs.
Yeah, that's what.
You want the PDFs.
Well, I'm really interested in Mork Borg. I never bought that one. I've got a lot of these other ones.
It's $30 to get everything.
See, that's where the Orions are going right now, yet the Navis is chasing them. And now the Navis is going towards Humble Bundle. Quick! We make off with everything.
I think you'll find that that's Commander Contraband. Not missed.
We don't usually talk during the intro sequence, but it was too funny to stop, really, so I just carried right on. Welcome, folks, to the continuing adventures of the USS Navis, and with me are actually the entirety of the crew. Woohoo!
Woo!
Feels like it's been a while since we were all together. But yes, as has been quite rightly pointed out, there is on Humble Bundle the Free League bundle with so much, which is why I've got it up here in front of us for everybody to see. Of course, it's all for charity, so this will be going to the charity of Direct Relief. But more importantly, of course, it's a lot of awesome Free League stuff. Tales of the Loop, Vesson, always one of my faves. Yeah, blimey. Scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling. And I'm still scrolling. And we finally reached the bottom with Burg and Mutant Year Zero. What more could you want? Yes, there's the whole alchemy VTT thing, but alchemy's fine for what it is. You know, it's a VTT and it works fine doing what it does. We just have a bit more of a preference for Foundry.
The PDFs.
But you could get the PDFs. See, obey the voice in your head.
I'm hearing a voice in my head.
But equally,
doesn't
there is
sound
another
like
humble bundle I was going to draw folks' attention to, which is once more, the guys at Cubicle 7 are releasing an Ultimate RPG collection for Doctor Who. We've done this before, so we're dang well doing this again.
Last one.
Yes, we did. Most of us here have got from the last one. So for those of you who don't have it, this one does. I don't remember if the last one had the 5th edition compatible Doctors and Daleks, but that's in this bundle. This goes to BBC Children in Need, of course. The last bundle also had a lot of, I was going to say big issue. That's completely wrong. A lot of the audio dramas as well as some of the fiction, but this is purely Cubicle 7's Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space and whatnot, a role-playing game. So, yeah. If you fancy and you didn't pick it up last time, like we showed you, then here's another humble bundle for you to look at. So here we are, Doctor Who and Free League, currently up on Humble Bundle. We are not affiliated with Humble Bundle or Cubicle 7 or Free League. More's the pity.
But they just keep giving us cheap stuff.
Yes.
But if they want to send money our way.
We deserve it.
Yeah. Wait, get the sponsorship to Matt before that weeping angel behind you gets him.
Yes.
Weeping Angel behind me?
Oh no, it's not there anymore, is it?
Oops.
Well, this might be my last transmission then, folks. So if I suddenly disappear and you end up looking at nothing but an empty chair, then you know what's happened.
But it would explain why you started running this game in the 17th century.
The moth got you.
The Weeping
moss
Moss
creeps up on the
Angels.
Weeping moth. Yeah.
No, let's just leave it as Weeping Moss. That's brilliant.
Well, I know what my next project is. A moss that makes Orion pirates weep.
Or you do that, don't you? Just throw it in their eyes. Oh, I forget, the last time you used it against Orion Pirates, you blew him up.
Oh, that is completely untrue. He blew himself up. It's not my fault that he completely failed to get his targets along with him.
Okay, well, in a little bit of news, there's a lot of kerfuffle going on at the moment with 2nd edition of Star Trek Adventures.
What's going on?
It is imminent. Those people who pre-ordered the physical copies have already started getting the digital copies, which I think is
Really?
a bit mean by Modiphius. Go on, Mike.
I was just about to pre-order it.
Well, I'm not interested
right now.
in the physical copy. I want the digital copies. Well, I want to know why I have to wait for the digital copy. Dang it! But there we go. Nevertheless, it is imminent, so those who have pre-ordered the physical copies will start getting their digital copies soon. As a result, plenty of YouTubers have started getting preview, or review I should say, copies of the rule sets. So we've been listening intently on some of the stuff that's on its way. There has been an update made to the code for Foundry for Star Trek Adventures, which is starting to use the new rules. As such, we haven't switched over yet. I'm going to wait until I've got my own digital copy of the rules and I give it a good read over first to see what it is we can implement. But there are one or two things that are mentioned in the second edition rules, and I would like to try implementing them. And if you guys are okay with that and you don't mind it or even enjoy using these new rules, then we can continue to do so. Otherwise, we can either come up with something else or we can just revert back to what we were doing. So, first of all, I would like to draw your attentions to your character notes, where each of you in your character's character notes has been given a new text editable area called logs. There was a notion introduced in the Klingon core rulebook, which was suggested for use for the original core rulebook, which is apparently being adopted as the way to go for milestones in the second edition. So it seems that, like with a lot of things, what was introduced as a new way of doing things for the Klingon core rulebook has carried over into second edition. So they suggest that in order for you to receive milestones, that we now link milestones to your values. So it is encouraged for you to keep a log. Doesn't have to be detailed, but at the very least a mention of when you used a value during the course of a mission. And if you did manage to use a value during the course of a mission, then that means that you will have either used your value or used the mission's current directives, or will have challenged your value, which may or may not mean that your value has to change in even a small way to represent character growth, or at the very least the actualization of your core values. So, like I said, these logs can be as short and succinct as you like, where you can just maybe give the start date and or the title or the episode number, and just give a mention as to when or what, or both, when and what value was used. Thank you, Mike. Yes, that's the cover of the second edition.
I bought it. You get the PDF instantly.
Yes. I might have to do that. But
I want to share with y'all, but I don't know how.
that's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll get around to it.
Okay.
It's part of my job. I can claim it as expenses, you see, but you know.
Okay.
Honest
I
guy.
ordered the science one.
Ah, well done.
You say
in any
claim back
case-
as expenses. I could just see you walking up to your wife with a form saying, "Please get some money back for this."
Well, you're not entirely wrong there. You're not entirely wrong. Nevertheless, yes, so we are now tying milestones to values. It's kind of a way to encourage folks to at least use our value in some way during the course of an episode. If we think after using it once or twice that it's a bit of a kind of thing, then, you know, we can just as easily drop it just as quickly. But we'll give it a go, if that's okay with you guys.
Just checking, when you say there's a new logs thing, am I just being blind and not seeing it on
Okay,
mine,
so
or-
in character...
It's the tab on the left.
Yeah, the tab on the left.
I see mine.
Yeah, so it's just an entirely
On
new...
the character note, right?
On character notes, so if you open up Lieutenant
Yep.
Liku Ori, you should see that
Yep.
there's a nice window, and there are two. There's one that
Right.
says 0, Lieutenant Liku Ori character notes, and underneath it should be 1, logs.
Well, okay. Sweet.
If you click on logs
How do
and
I
you
edit?
then hover over, there should be an edit button that comes up that allows you to open up the
Yeah,
text
okay.
editor, and you can put whatever you want in there. Like I said, if folks don't fancy writing out long, detailed character logs, then they don't have to. Just give a note of the episode, either the episode name or maybe the star date, however you want to do it, and a notion of which value or values were used or challenged in some way. Just a bit of extra flavour as to try and make everyone keeps a log in some fashion when you're a character in the Star Trek universe, so maybe go this way.
It makes sense to get something that says star dates. Then.
Sorry?
How do you open up that window, Matt?
Okay, so...
I think I'm... Yeah.
That's fine, that's fine. We'll get to Webby in just a sec then. So if I go to Dr. Lloyd Bertram, it opens up a window with a lot of text in. But on the left-hand side, there's something that says 0 Dr. Lloyd Bertram. Underneath that is 1 logs. Seen that?
Which tab is this in now?
Oh, are you in
notes,
journals?
Tab.
You in the journal area?
Right, okay, yeah. Right, okay, that's what I was missing. So very much.
I do beg your pardon, I wasn't being clear enough.
Hey Matt, read my character log.
New hot tub installed. Discovered 7 new STDs. All of them are mine.
You.
Like trading cards, gotta catch them all.
I could just imagine the frequent visits to sickbay, with Dr. Bertram going, "Oh, all right, really again? I got a new one, Doc."
Itches.
Hey, look what I caught.
He's got a stamp card.
Where did you touch the Davidian?
It was a Medusan.
Oh man.
Chief Medical Officer's log. Subject, Lieutenant Liku Orai. Doctor's personal notes. Medically fascinating.
Personally, ew.
Personally, I'm not sure why he keeps doing this.
Science.
You do science in controlled laboratory conditions, not a hot tub.
I'm boldly going where no one has gone before.
At the very
Never
least,
go again.
have a control tub where nothing happens.
Alright. I've got some incoming messages from you now. Apparently there's a lot of people after child support.
Oh no. Yeah, that's my evil twin.
Hans
Alright.
He's very handy. He's not hands.
Oogle. Hi, Ori.
He's also staggeringly handsome. If I do say so myself.
Yeah.
This has completely thrown me now. How did we get here? Oh yeah, new rules.
It's gonna be a very long night tonight, isn't it?
Oof. Okay. Obviously the new rules with things like determination we are not going to implement just yet because, as I said, the Foundry code we're using currently hasn't switched over yet, and that's going to be, when we do, it's going to be an all or nothing kind of job. Obviously Starship Combat will remain the same for now, as will other things, especially because 2nd edition, as we've noted before, doesn't use challenge dice anymore, so things are a bit different. But we will get around to those when we get around to those. In the meantime, we have science to do, I do believe.
Not talking about aperture science.
Well, thankfully, no, because we actually want to all survive this one. So, if I recall, we were very close to completing the plant-based EVA suit. We were extremely close to finalizing the holographic torpedoes, and we were also making a fair amount of leeway with the sound weapon mines. So, let us pull ourselves over to Deck 1, where we can see our wonderful list of supporting characters as well as our primary characters. So, who wants to go first? The Doc, Vibers with the holo torpedoes, or Edwards with the sound mines, or anybody else who wants to basically get started on their own science experiments.
I want to invent an iPad.
Surely we already have iPads.
I was about to say, what's
No.
Ori holding at
No.
this current moment in time?
You have pads, and it takes 17 pads for each different subject. I want something that can consolidate all information on one thing and transmit it wirelessly. So you don't have to keep handing me more pads to hold.
We went back in time on the pad malarkey. We found that one pad per each information piece is the way forwards.
Saves paper.
Well, fine.
It also stops people having too much stuff in their to-do pile when the pile is a physical pile.
I do have something that I want to research.
Oh.
A non-lethal Ushantor.
Really?
Wouldn't that just be a 2x4?
Just come out with 2x4s.
Or I volunteered.
Yeah, I got wrapped over the knuckles. So
It's Tarzan! Oh my god, with a steel chair!
But what you're saying is you want, because isn't that basically a type of knife?
Training knife.
I want something with the same physical dimensions and
What you want is a
characteristics.
Nissan 4 that when you stab someone with it, injects them with a paralytic healing solution that stops them bleeding out but has them lying on the floor unconscious.
You know, I was just thinking of something like a stun baton in the shape of an Ushantor, but I mean,
Well, that's where I was
if the
going
doctor
to,
approves,
actually.
then
Let's go back into the 2x4 territory, that is.
Well, if that's what you
Come out,
want to
just
do,
turns up
because...
with a wooden stick with some nails in it.
Well, you know,
I hit
make
you
it-
with the soft side, it will only hurt you.
you know, Jan
apparently
makes a
this
good
used to be
point.
called a cricket bat.
Come out with a cricket bat, I would love it.
We believe it was
Commander?
created on the lost planet of cricket.
No, we know it was created around Bejor. Mr. Cisco has been organising a championship.
That's a baseball bat.
Oh, you humans and your sport.
For the trill.
7
Species-
lifetimes
it's-
of knowledge
species-
and doesn't know the difference between a cricket bat and a baseball bat. I don't know. In any case, or was it 8 lifetimes? I forget. What are we doing? 3 lifetimes so far, okay. You're nowhere near as big as Dax.
Apparently, I'm dying 4 more times this session.
Hello, I'm Hans Dax. I'm Hans Vibers.
Well then, I mean, if Keval wants to research maybe creating some kind of stun shock weapon to use that still has the same heft and feel of an Ushantor, then that sounds valid to me. As you quite rightly point out, you have been written up a couple of times for utilizing a lethal weapon, so you know, if you can find a
I
medium
am
between.
the lethal weapon.
Well, exactly. I wasn't going to say anything.
I'd like to point out at no point has Andrew has been the one that's actually filed the report that he's used to do Santor. You know, it's not his fault that the Orions ran into his knife.
Yeah.
Technically, he hit me.
Writing the logs.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, the Orion hit. Yeah, the Orion hit
17
him.
Orion pilots all at once ran into my room as I just happened to be cleaning my Ushantor and just impaled themselves on my weapon, probably trying to frame me and ruin my career to deprive Starfleet of my exceptional piloting talents. That sounds
The
logical.
term I prefer to use in the report is spontaneous exsanguination.
They just started bleeding all of a sudden. And there I was, unable to help. Oh dear, I've only got a lethal weapon in my hands. However shall I stop the bleeding? Oh no, I'm making it worse. Anyway.
It's a healing blunderbuss.
And as I watched as they charged onto my Ushantor, purely of their own volition, and bled to death in front of me, I wondered, where did the system go wrong?
Well then, folks, if that's what Thazanan wants to do, then that's what Thazanan can do. So, how about we start things off with... Well, this has captured my attention now, so how about we start things off with this brand new science project? The non-lethal... the shock stun Ushan... I can't even speak. Uthantor. Alright, so as per usual, we can choose between 3 to 5 different avenues of investigation. Usually helps if they're linked to a focus of some sort in some way. So, what would you like to use as your possible avenues of investigation?
There's the obvious hand-to-hand combat.
Makes sense.
But I think we should then try and bring in some kind of engineering or technical focus.
Has anyone got the focus cutting edge of science?
Oh, dear God.
It's definitely going to be a long night, isn't it?
Right, I'm generating a free complication for your next roll just for that.
Still regret nothing.
Any other thoughts? Anyone else got any suggestions as to avenues of investigation that could be used?
You could have it as CQC. First call.
I mean, we just had that with hand-to-hand combat, so close quarters
To an
combat
extent, yeah.
would be pretty much the same thing.
Let's see.
Portable holographic emitters.
It's a holographic Ushantor.
Yeah,
Keval just actually punches someone.
it's hardwired until you hit somebody and then it disappears. So you only get the first impact, you don't get the follow through.
There is Edwards' experimental technology.
True, but I'm running my own thing as well.
Well, you might finish that today, you never know.
True.
And he doesn't have to
Then I'm
start
still
with
used up for the day.
experimental tech.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay, so hand-to-hand combat, experimental technology. Any other thoughts and suggestions? Let's think. You're going for a shock stun weapon, so...
There's electrical engineering first. That's electrical engineering.
Makes sense to me. That's pretty much where you'd be going. Okay, that's 3. If anyone can think of 2 more that make sense for this particular science experiment.
Go through what would we have again?
Alright, so we've got hand-to-hand combat, or close quarters combat, whichever way you want to spell it. Experimental technology, electrical engineering. Sounds pretty solid to me, but unless anyone else can suggest another possible course of investigation?
Biology, because you need to have it to be able to adjust for whichever species, unless you want to have just one charge fits all.
Enough electricity, anyone goes down.
There's that.
Yeah, but if you have that overcharged and someone, it then becomes
but
a
then they
war
accidentally
crime.
ran onto it. Nah, they accidentally ran onto it.
Well, it's up to Jan. Jan doesn't
Oh,
have to take the recommendation, or he can. Up to him.
I will quite happily back Fazanan. It was definitely self-defense. He had nothing to do with their death.
I saw something. Somebody had something. Electroplasma systems, maybe, or shields.
I don't think shields. Shields would be. It is more about actual shields, isn't it?
Yeah. Than hitting somebody with a shock weapon. As far as electroplasma systems, that's usually power systems used by big machines like starships. But if you really do want to have a look at that technology as a means of... Good grief! A stun weapon powered by the same power that runs through a starship. Fazan's going to have to carry this giant backpack on just to charge the thing. Yikes. But imagine the punch.
Oh, Keval just wants to do Falcon Punch, isn't it? Falcon Punch!
One Punch Man.
I can punch through a star.
Well, there's also... Edwards also has metallurgy, which
if
could
you
be
wanted
useful.
to, create something that was made of a composite of materials instead, that was just... It hurts being hit with it, but it's non-lethal because it's not an edged weapon. Metallurgy might also help you find something that gives you the right balance between a lightweight weapon and something that can carry a charge. So yeah, metallurgy sounds like a reasonable avenue of investigation for me. If you want to include it.
Just wait a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so far we've got hand-to-hand combat, experimental technology, electrical engineering, metallurgy. One more if you want to. Don't have to, but you can have one more avenue of investigation.
Security protocols, maybe? Or procedures? That's what you usually use for combat.
Security protocol.
Don't make it too sharp.
It would be Starfleet. It'd be Starfleet protocol, wouldn't it, rather than security?
Yeah.
This is how we actually disarm someone. It's just Keval reading the manual, and
he's just like, he cuts above the elbow. Got it.
If anything, you'd be using it to hit someone with the book. If you wanted a
Well,
non-lethal weapon.
I guess something in the medical field to make sure it's not too lethal.
As Alex suggested, maybe, yes. There's a biological component to it.
Lethal enough.
If you want to.
Anatomy, wouldn't it?
Anatomy.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so we've got 5 different avenues of investigation here. Hand-to-hand combat, experimental technology, electrical engineering, metallurgy, and anatomy. All very interesting. Is there a particular avenue of investigation you would like to conduct first?
Well, I think I'll do my my standard hand-to-hand.
Okay. Well, you've got a couple of people who would be very good to assist with that. I mean, obviously there's the captain with advanced hand-to-hand combat. Claude has got hand-to-hand combat. There's, of course, Commander Bravo
really
of
good
security
hand-to-hand.
who's got hand-to-hand combat. Got lots of people who could help. Heck, you've even got Engineer Keth.
Yes, well, I think I should... Okay, fine, let's take him. He's got lots of, I don't know if he's got experience in non-lethal hand-to-hand combat, but yeah, let's bring in Kev.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a curse word where Klingons are concerned.
We haven't lost anything on engineers, so possibly?
Can Unit Hello get a variation of this weapon installed when it has been created? Well, I do believe Nova's already taken care of that by giving Hello a Type 1 phaser.
That's for shooting, not stabby.
Let's add more weapons to the murder robot. Yeah.
I think Unit Hello more perked up when it heard the concept of channeling the full power of a starship through this weapon. Oh, really?
Well, you know.
So,
But, so anybody who wants to contribute, you can get to contribute if you want them to help. So it's basically going to
I
be
think I'll get
reason and
Kef.
security. Kef, okie dokie. Davis, since actually, yeah, since the engineering boys tend to be your crew, why don't you grab Keth?
84.
Do we want anybody else on board with this?
more dice, more better.
If you need me, I'll join in on this one.
Okay, so we got
Yeah, I think I'll...
I was putting Vibers on the other one, but I think Vibers' one's very close to finishing, so...
Yeah. So we got one from Keth. Nice. One success from Keth.
You want
Very good.
Reason and engineering?
No, reason and security.
Reason
Ah,
and
wrong one.
security. Good, okay, one die. Wabba.
Do you want to bin Kev?
No, we'll take the roll of 16, and reason and
Oh, fair
security was a 14, so it was... that was in fact a 0 success from... so you may as well roll Keth again, actually. Yeah. Oh, worse! Much,
Oh my
much
word.
worse! This is what happened when
This is
you
where you said...
fight a Klingon to a non-lethal
I
weapon.
thought it said extra lethal.
Well then, it seems Keval. It's down to Keval now.
Yeah.
Legion of Honor.
Okay.
Bad Kev.
One success. Okay.
Can I use that one and burn up some of your threat ability?
May spend 3 threat. No, that's because it's me that spends. It would be spending 3 momentum instead in your case, which is a good point. First into battle, I should really redo that. Actually, it's for Lady Jark as well. So, when Keth makes a successful attack, he may spend 3 momentum to assist another Klingon's next attack with daring and command. So, should really replace that talent. But he's a Klingon, dang it, and this is how Klingons operate. Okay. 1 success. So, needless to say, it had a bit of trouble getting off the ground there. It was very much a case of Keth going, no, seriously, you want a non-lethal weapon? You want to replace the honor of your people with a ceremonial weapon meant to not even scratch somebody?
It's mostly for training purposes.
What good is training if they don't bleed a little?
I was going to say
Come on,
secret
that's
Satan.
educational.
Exactly. It's not training if they don't learn something. So, yes. To say this one's might be a bit slow getting off the ground would be a bit of an understatement, but there we go. That's what happens when you invite a Klingon to help you make a weapon that's non-lethal. Nevertheless...
After the 4th time, he stopped sharpening it for you when you put it down.
Alright, so let's quickly get to Dr. Bertram's experiment with the plant-based EVA. We were currently on biotech.
Biotechnology.
So, for those who want to assist, I mean, Nurse Nateeth doesn't have biotech, but Bravo does not either. Wasn't anybody else but Bertram, really, that had biotech.
Yeah.
So, if anyone else that you want to bring along can just be brought along for their reason and medicine.
Yeah, well, Nurse Bravo, Nurse Nateef. Nurse Bravo has good, and I did up Nurse Nateef's medicine because I was dissatisfied with the performance.
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
So,
I spent mine.
Well, we'll get to
Or I
that in
has
a bit.
3 of medicine.
Sean, do you fancy being one of your fellow Betazoids? And help us out with Nurse Bravo, who's going to be giving us a reason and medicine check. No focuses. Foci.
Where's Jenny?
Jenny's up here.
Where's Jenny?
Jenny's by there.
Why not being used? Why, Doc? She's gonna get withdrawal symptoms.
When I use her, everyone makes out that her husband's trying to assassinate me out of jealousy or something.
Can I also get...
It's
you
the
don't
term use.
Can I get... Mike, can you be Nurse Nateeth for me, please?
Alright.
Reason and medicine from Nurse Nateeth as well. Only 1 dice, if you please. No focuses. It looks like Doc Bertram's doing all the heavy lifting, but you never know. Nurse Nateeth might surprise us.
Is she on the...
She's right here.
He's right below
Okay.
me.
Okay.
If only Jenny had been used.
Alright, reason plus medicine?
Yes, please.
She's gonna be good. Okay. Does she have a focus?
No. Not in this
Well.
case.
Too bad, sister. Oh wait, I'm supposed to use one.
That's fine.
Sorry.
We will take the 2 as the 1 success. That should be 2 successes then, actually. What's going on there? Reason, medicine, that should be 14, and 4 and under should be, so that should actually be
Is that
3
because she hasn't
successes.
got a focus in it?
But she hasn't got a
Yeah,
focus, that's
I didn't
quite
do-
right. Sorry, I'm forgetting my own rules here. 1 success. Okay, so the Doc got 3, Nurse Nateeth generated 1, Nurse Bravo not feeling it today, unfortunately, but nevertheless, we got 4. 4 successes, which means we are now past the the test phase, and we're getting close to actual physical implementation now. So far so interesting. Not quite done yet. We'll see if whether or not it actually stands up to the rigorous testing. So yeah, very close to ending. Right, one of the ones that we have been waiting for, Vipers and his holographic torpedoes. We were on electronic warfare. We were very close to finishing. So those with electronic warfare tend to be the communication lads. However, Ensign, I keep demoting him. Poor Tufty. Lieutenant Keshen does not have electronic warfare as such. In fact, I'm pretty sure nobody does. So it's just basically going to be reason and engineering. So anybody with a... Actually, it's probably going to be more like reason and science now that I think about it. Because communications tends to use science. So, yeah, if you want Keshen along, then Keshen can help. Up to you, Davis. Or have you cited somebody else you'd rather use?
I'm thinking it might be hard to bring in Curse.
Okay.
And yeah, I can bring in Kirst and Keshen.
Okay, bringing in the Ks. Actually, it's 3 Ks because it's Kano. I shouldn't have said that.
The KKK?
Secret meetings, secret projects.
Fine. The secret hubs are not required for this meeting.
Not for this meeting.
I'll have 17 spooky ghost costumes, please.
I was gonna say, I was there like, are we gonna go spooky ghost or not?
Not spooky ghost.
Okay, so
So it is working Blazing Saddle.
Can I have, since Keshen tends to be Alex's partner in crime, let's have Alex be Keshen. Can I get, Jan, you're usually good with rolls. And Jan is cursed.
Alright.
Thanking you. Cursed by that. So both Keshen and Cursed giving reason and science, please, with Vibers. You're probably going to be more inclined to use reason and engineering. So Vibers is more the implementation, whereas these two are more the science of the numbers of electronic warfare. So let's see how you do.
Right.
As Cursed
For anything else?
Cursed has not got any focuses for this, I am afraid.
Oh,
No.
sorry, ignore that.
We'll take the
does
8.
Cursed electrical engineering count?
Not really, because this is electronic warfare, so this is more a very specific subject of how to hack into an enemy's or disrupt their communications, that kind of thing, so... Afraid not. So no successes from Cursed. We'll take the 8 from Keshen to give 1, which leaves us with Vibers himself.
Wait, I've just realised that Cursed Foci has changed.
3 successes. So that's 4 in total. I am looking for holographic torpedoes. Badum. Cursed's focuses have changed?
The bottom one wasn't Ship System Investigation and Audit Specialist. Who changed it?
Emergency something.
Yeah, Emergency Protocol Specialist. Who was it?
Probably me.
I think we overused emergency protocols, but
That was
Well,
probably
it's
it,
not my
actually.
It's
It's not my problem that it was accepted.
We used it for like 3 things in the same scene.
Doesn't matter. It's
There are
not
only
our
so
fault
many
the
god
wording was
focuses I will
ambiguous.
allow. Right, okay, so...
I think I've used one of my foci once, and I've never changed it, you know, so we should have god foci.
So, the holographic torpedoes, the electronic warfare system has now been computated, has now been built in, and the chassis has taken it. With all the work you've done, you've now got a power system that works, and an onboard hacking system that should be able to break into a ship's main computer in order to try and create a diversion of the sort that the target ship will notice, and it works. You've done it. You've created it.
Captain, I'd like to do a test firing. Can I borrow the... We need the runabout.
Can we fire it on the Bellerophon?
Sorry, is that a... You've got this signed off with a Bellerophon CO?
I mean,
Yeah, sure. We'll load the main ammunition, we'll get it prepped. I'll be in main gunnery. I'll catch you in a minute.
Yes, I'm happy for us to test fire it on the runabout, from the runabout, or at the. Are we firing it at the runabout? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I want someone to be in it as well.
Right then, let's see. What can we give this? It's going to need calibration. It's not going to have any of the usual torpedo things. In fact, the goal is not to do damage. It's mostly to mess up their systems. So there's... I mean, they're not going to be
so
taking...
its aim is to fly up, lock onto the hull, and...
We're doing the Nova maneuver and ramming. Let's see.
Nova, do you want to fly a shuttlecraft? We're going to shoot at it.
Playing cat and mouse with a flipping runabout.
This is going to be interesting. How am I gonna do this? Security makes a good thing. We'll just have to play it by ear. So it's there as a holo torpedo, but it's more a trait than anything else. So I will put that up as traits as well. So the ship has now gained a new trait: holo torpedoes.
I just realised we haven't actually met. We haven't seen our mate on the Bellerophon for a good couple of months, haven't we? We'll have to go and say hi to him at some point.
No, the Bellerophon has been off doing things.
We'll just pull up alongside him and just wind the windows down and be like, "Hey, how's it feel to be second place again?"
So that was holographic torpedoes have now come to an end and completed. Nice. So the last one we've got to do is sound mines. And as it turns out, we were doing electronic warfare as that avenue of investigation too. So, Alex, take it away. Would you like which? I mean, like we've already established, nobody here has got electronic warfare as a specialist focus. So it's pretty much anybody you want to bring along that you think has got the science chops for it. So, you know, Fizal, Eric, Ori. Bring Ori on if you want to. Anybody you think.
But not them.
I mean, Turin wouldn't make much sense. I mean, she's mostly your xenoarchaeologist, but she does have science chops.
Did you say Cursed has she been used, did you say? Or
Cursed has just been used, yes.
Yeah. Thought I misheard that. Yeah, so
I mean, we've still got Mono, we've got Ori.
Yeah, take an Ori as well.
Take an Ori. Good choice. Alright then. So, just Ori, or do we want somebody else on board as well?
Okay, who do I sleep with?
Nobody.
Bravo. This might be one of the cartography, bro. I think this might be one of the legal ways we can use this mine. Just put it outside your quarters and just be pictures of the things to distract you. No, it's alright coming forward and deploys the distraction.
Alright, you're trying to make this sound mine very seductive for an enemy crew and ship, so they will trip over it and then it will knock them out.
Oh,
Okay.
I say accidentally, he secretly installs Barry White.
Hey, look. Want to see my hot tub?
Barry White in a hot tub. Woof.
Yeah.
And let's take Fizal as well then.
Alright, so who are we taking Ori? We're taking Ori, we're taking Fizal. And
cartography.
cartography bravo. Good grief. Okay.
He's got science.
He's got science, yes
He
he
just
does.
gets dragged out there and he's like, "Hello, why do you want me?"
He's just become this ashen,
that's-
pale, almost Morlock figure.
He's paler than oh god, what's his name? Latude.
Oh well, steady. Steady. Right, so let's have Gareth. Do you fancy being Bravo of Stellar Cartography, please?
Yep.
Reason and Science. Sean, if you could be Fezal for me, please. Reason and Science. Mike, you're being Ori as usual. Reason and Science. Nobody so far has got any foci to use, so... it's gonna be-
Get
Experimental
my
technologies.
mouse.
So that's anything I can throw.
Yeah, so 1 dice from Ori, please.
Alright, hold on here. Let's see.
And then someone to roll for stellar cartography bravo.
Already have.
I did you.
Have you? I can only see Fezal's roll.
Nope, there is.
Tweezles and
Oh, it's
yours, and
above.
then I'm above you.
Yeah, I saw it. Thank you.
1 from
So that's
Ori.
4.
Science! So that's 4 for science in total. Nice, nice, nice. Good, good, good. Interesting, interesting. Which means we have also completed work on our sound mines. They work!
So I guess I picked the right one first off that electronic warfare.
Yes, yes, yes. So, as well as having new hologram torpedoes loaded, these things have now got sound mines.
Just got to have permission to try out the prototype.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Right, so...
On your head B, if we use a weapon that's banned by the Federation.
Sound
Wasn't
mines
these
banned
the
by
mines?
the Federation.
Mines are banned by the Federation.
Submit
Yeah.
it to High Command for a review of if this skirts the ruling.
I predict that the Federation will change their mind when they need to keep the Dominion out of this quadrant through that wormhole.
Well, I've heard the guy in charge of that little station, I can't remember his name off near Bajor, he's a bit of a loose cannon. He doesn't follow all the rules that strictly.
Yeah, did you just say something about self-replicating mines at one point?
Yeah, apparently
Yeah,
he's really gone
about
off the
6
deep end. He's
3 years-
established
3
himself
years
as like
now.
the head of some religious cult there or something. I'm amazed Starfleet hasn't come down on him harder.
Can't be important.
Okay.
So we're better than him. Our ship has a cloaking device.
Yeah. Our picked up a Ferengi transport in orbit.
You didn't so much pick it up so much as you swallowed it. You flew past
Our
it. Your
ship has
ship
a
went.
Klingon on it.
Your ship has
we-
more
we're
than one
invisible, so
Klingon
it
on
kind
it.
of
I think.
flew
on that one.
into her.
Okay.
Doctor, I hate to bring this to you, but you should probably notice from your second ward full of the accidental off-time incidents, but we have quite a few Klingons on board.
Oh,
So
right, I
half
thought-
the engineering crew. That's why you have Wing 1 and 2 of your...
Is that where the
sick
injuries
bay.
are coming from? I thought the Cold War between day shift and night shift had finally warmed up.
Oh, no,
There
that's
is no
shift
night
that's Ward 3.
There is no, yeah,
You
there
know
is no
there's
night
two
shift.
decks
It's a
to your sick
mirage.
bay, right?
Oh, yeah.
Captain,
I suppose
there
night
is
shift
a
are just
night
those
shift.
holographic torpedoes in disguise.
No, Captain, there is a night shift. I have to sit on all their reviews. They're the ones you can't be bothered signing that you rubber stamp.
I don't even remember that when I was first officer or second officer. I think you're
I
making this
know,
up.
they're
There is
2
no night
years
shift.
behind on the paperwork.
2 years behind our paperwork.
Oh dear.
The
I
one
have
part
an
of
ensign who
Andrew's
needs a
paperwork that she
lieutenant
never
commander
did.
promotion.
It's just gonna be a
No.
bunch of scutters running through the cat runs.
Oh dear me. Right. Okay.
There is no night shift. I am not signing off on promotions for anyone who claims to be on night shift because they are made up.
You know how you
Fine.
keep dumping all your paperwork onto Vibers because you're delegated.
No, I just got promoted to first officer, and suddenly there was this big pile of stuff.
It wasn't! Andrews was always on top of paperwork. It's not Andrews' fault that a day after taking command, Vibers has got a mountain of paperwork.
Have you been checking all the stuff he's been putting through?
No.
He might not have let a night shift permission form slip through.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'd pick up night vision, night shift. Kind of like Sixth Sense. My cybernetics would kind of ping, and it's sort of like night shift. I just know.
Yeah, I suppose to bypass that, your first officer would have to be some sort of engineering genius, and you'd have to have some sort of implant that affects how you perceive things visually. Good job, none of that's true.
I mean, to be honest, he still hasn't figured out how he's getting the contraband on the ship, so yeah.
Through the port in the cell! I thought that was obvious!
Yeah, that's dead obvious. That's why no one's allowed in there. It's just full of contraband. There's
The
nothing
secret
wrong
of the
with
port in
it.
the cell is it's got a wormhole with one end of the port in the cell, and the other end is wherever Vibers does all of his black market dealing.
What no one else has noticed is we are the only ship in the fleet that has requisition reports for transporter fluid.
Sport of fluid.
High capacity nacelle degreaser.
So it's when he signed a thing saying, was it elbow grease and headlight fluid?
Well, some of them are labelled tartan paint, but that might actually be real by now.
Who knows? Or dares to dream. Okay, did somebody mention that they wanted to do something with milestones or their acclaim? I forget. Seems like somebody was looking to do something.
I can't remember what I was going to spend it on. It was my large milestone. Where is it? God, it's a couple of weeks.
Captain Sophia Andrews has 7 large milestones. Only used 6. Vibers has used all of his large milestones. Thazanan hasn't used all of his large milestones.
I'm stingy that way.
Edwards has. Nova also has 1 spare. Alright.
There we go. Yes, so my choices were increase Claught's command to 4, increase Kef's engineering to 5, increase Stephen's science to 4, or mumble something about ship's command to 2.
Your milestone, your call.
I've kind of opened it to the rest of them as well.
Okay, well, did any of
Which do you think
those...
is going to be the most beneficial?
Yeah, did any of those sound good to the rest of you?
You could always get yourself focused in checking paperwork.
So what was the options again that you'd thought of?
Claught command to 4,
Kef's
Kev's engineering to 5, and Stephen's science to 4. And then the ship's command to 2.
So the ship can assist with more command. Okay.
Because someone keeps moaning, "Oh, the ship's not good enough."
Who the hell does that?
Oh, I didn't know you heard me. What's it take to give the ship stuff? Is that a large milestone?
Yeah, large milestones, usually. I mean, you can use medium milestones to shift some numbers about. Like you can with a character. You can choose to shift numbers on the ship about instead. But if you want to add numbers rather than just shift numbers about, then usually it is the large milestones that you're looking for. Ori has already used his 1 large milestone so far, but
medium.
You have got... how many mediums have you got going? You haven't used any of your mediums, so yeah.
8 minor, or 7 minor, I guess.
So, a medium milestone... I will give you the list. I'll put this in Discord.
I think
To shift something? To increase something? Do 2 mediums equal or large?
There we go. The fates have decided. Claught is getting command. Claught's command is going to 4.
Claught's command is going to 4. Okay. So you're spending.
Claught's got a better command than I have.
Well, you know what that means, Commander. More training for you. So Claught's command goes to 4, yes?
Mhm.
Excellent. Alright then. Done.
Yeah,
He's been
I'll
getting
probably
command
want-
training.
But I do have to say that Claude flies like a rock.
I'll spend my milestone.
Okay.
I need to come up with decent talent test along the lines of, it's not my job, but I'll do it anyway.
I mean, Andrews has fanboyed over Claude since he came on board, so it's only fair that she's now kind of like giving him the training he deserves.
Yep. Okay, and just for those who want to know, that's what you can do with larges. Post it to Discord.
Larges.
And if you really want, I'll put the minor ones up, but they're usually just for juggling numbers around. So,
I believe
Claude-
I've been command shamed. I have to push my command up now.
Vibers has only got 3 in command.
Truth.
When I got shoved into first officer, I had to learn security.
Point.
Whereas Andrews is proper min-maxed because I am inept at engineering, science, and medicine, but really, really good at command, con, and security.
There you go.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Someone been putting him on the classical animation fins again.
I am gonna burn down one of my. Can you do it for?
What are you
Yes,
after?
you can do it for discipline. Right. I'm gonna do a little shuffle for vibes then.
Okay.
After the last few missions, he's got really bad at piloting and now 4 in con. So 4 in command.
He's giving up piloting.
He's not used it very much, and he's been giving a hell of a lot of orders.
So you've basically swapped. You've taken 1 out of con and put 1 into command.
Yep.
And you
I've
used
adjusted the numbers.
you've just did the numbers, but you used a medium to do that with, yeah?
Yep. I've just tweaked.
And you've just done that now. Nice. Very good, very good, very good.
I've still got 28 minus to use.
Well, Sean, you do have a large milestone to use if you want, and you don't have to use it on Nova, you can use it on any supporting character. Like hello.
Robot hint.
I'm keeping it for now.
Keeping it for now? Okay, that's fine.
Also, use it all of a sudden he has a rocket launcher strapped to the side of his head. Why just...
Doesn't do anything, it just looks intimidating.
So you take him to an early form Dalek.
Right, anybody else with anything else they want to do with their milestones? Okay.
I might use my large milestone I got last session to increase my daring to 9, given that some medical tests require daring.
Yes. So you are using one of your larges, okay? So that's the
Yep.
4th one you've used, and you want to increase your daring. Okay, go for it.
Yep. Okay.
He's having to learn how to be a bit more spontaneous. A bit more.
Yeah, I've been practicing on Ori whenever he comes in after one of his hot tub mishaps. I say, do you want me to just cleanse the infection, or do you want me to try something a bit more experimental? And he picks up he picks up the latest discarded failed version of the non-lethal Ushanton. I believe I can stun the infection.
Stun the infection out of you.
Everybody
That's
watches
tingling
as all the power
sensation
goes
is-
in and out.
Yeah, that tingling sensation is germs dying.
Bertram,
Yeah.
I can confirm that Lieutenant O'Reilly is now completely clear of the infection. On a semi-related issue, please don't ask him for the next couple of days to do anything that involves my fine motor control.
You can barely get out of his head off.
I just imagine it goes, why not, Doctor? Can't say. Doctor-patient confidential. If all I know. Is that right, all right?
Absolutely. Okay. Alright, everybody done. Smashing. Alrighty then. Okay. So, if there's nothing else, then we will get on with today's episode. So this one will take place a week after the culmination of the previous one, which was, if you remember, the whole conference between the two factions on that planet, who one faction wanted to stay with the Federation, one wanted to leave. So this is a week later, and I will have something for our captain to read out.
I don't do reading.
Well, you do now.
He was elected to read, not to lead.
Do. As soon as it comes up, there we go. Badoop.
Captain's log, stardate 50807.9. As the nearest ship in the area, the Navis has been ordered to the Coriolanus system in order to check on the mining colony on the 4th planet. Coriolanus 4 has been catalogued as having some of the largest and richest dilithium deposits encountered thus far. With Coriolanus being an unaffiliated planet on the edge of known space, Starfleet has made sure to impress upon me the necessity of securing the dilithium supplies. The colony stopped checking in 3 days ago, and it's our job to find out why.
Okay.
Why don't the Federation just put flags on things?
Sorry, could you repeat that stardate, please?
50807.9.
Right, just adding it to my log.
Very good, very good. Okay, so the Navis, actually I should have kept that up. The Navis comes out of warp at the edge of the Coriolanus system. I always have trouble pronouncing that. The Coriolanus system has a very dense Oort cloud. Would those who know what Oort clouds are, maybe our astrophysicist amongst us, like to explain what an Oort cloud is, please?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Don't know about that?
It is effective. Well, no, I do know about it. I was just checking. So it's effectively a large kind of area where comets are generally formed. Basically, it's a outer level asteroid belt.
Cool.
Pretty much.
At the Oort cloud, you're not in the.
So, as such, rather than just warping into the system as per usual and just passing through the Oort cloud as you come out of warp, the Oort cloud around the Coriolanus system is particularly dense and therefore has to be navigated through manually at sublight speeds.
God, Keval, not trying hard enough.
Yeah, no Briar Path.
Anyone who attempts
Captain,
to
I do think that.
Go on.
Captain, I do think that we should give Lieutenant Lenny some practice in these kinds of operations.
Oh, poor Lenny that you paused on what his own name was. Go on then, Lenny. I'm scratching behind his ears. Go on, you can do it, boy. We believe in you.
Lenny
You
doesn't know
do
how
know
to
he's
feel.
been lead- He has been lead con for night shift for a while now.
Night shift doesn't exist!
It's a myth.
There is
It's
only
bots that
Alpha
change
Shift.
the vending machines, no one else.
So, anyone who attempts to take scans of the system particularly of the planet that you want, the fourth planet, will find that scans are a little ambiguous from this distance. So you have to get a little closer. So passing through the Oort cloud is going to be job 1. So I'm going to briefly take us on a journey to another map as we come to the dense Oort cloud of the Coriolanus system. Can everyone see that, or is it just blackness for everybody?
I can see.
Cool.
Ice rocks everywhere.
Quick, fire the holographic torpedoes at the spouts and test them on.
Dancing ice rocks everywhere. With copies of the Doctor on them saying left a bit, right a bit.
You need more
Not
moss
here.
in your diet. Oh, that's what we did. The torpedoes just fire, and it's just the lecture of the Doctor. It's like, good evening and
Where'd you
welcome to
pick up
this
the
lecture
program
on
from?
moss.
But apparently Starfleet have made distributing that as an offensive weapon a war crime for some reason.
Welcome
We
to
are
your
gathered
brain
to-
on moss.
Yeah, we are gathered to learn about the importance of moss within the Federation starships. Join with me as we travel into the great world of moss, and I'm sure that you will all find it very riveting.
Oh god, it's like the same energy as Sheldon doing fun with flags. It's time for fun with moss.
I don't know,
Time
Sheldon
for
from Big
Marvel
Bang Theory
with
actually had a
moss.
good deal of energy behind fun with flags. You actually, Webby actually sounds like a couple of my university lecturers.
I thought they just the whole jet gag was he got described as robotic and he took it as a compliment.
I believe his description was some kind of praying mantis-like creature, but there we go. Nevertheless, you have a dense cloud before you of giant bits of ice in order to navigate through. So, yeah, if Lieutenant Lenny, our Helm officer's understudy, is being allowed to pilot the ship through this particular dense gathering, that's fine.
There's a part of me.
To you.
There's a part of me that thinks that Keval is actually just going to sit on one of the other consoles and actually just pilot it from there, and just like make out that Lenny's flying.
So what I'm doing is I'm inputting limits on how he can steer, and as long as he steers within those limits, everything's okay.
He's not actually flying. He's just got a pathway that he's allowed to follow.
Too much throttle, come back. So you're basically just being his driving instructor.
It doesn't warn him. Yeah, it doesn't warn him that he's got too much throttle. It just automatically throttles back slightly.
So everyone watching
Yeah,
this from
something like
behind
that.
just sees his ears droop a little bit as he's confused as to what's going on. Poor guy. Alright, so maneuvering slowly and carefully through the Oort cloud will require no real check unless you really want to make one, which you can do, of course, if you want to get some momentum going. Entirely up to you.
Gun it, Lenny.
Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to bring us back to ramming speed. Sean, you're obsessed with ramming speed today. What is this? It's entirely up to you if you want to let Ensign... I keep demoting them because I was used to them being ensigns for so long. My babies are all growing up. Lieutenant Lenny. If you want to have Lieutenant Lenny make a con roll, that's up to you. If you want to try and generate some extra momentum to start with. If not, that's fine. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
might as well.
So let's have, well, Jan, he's Thazanan's understudy, so you may as well be Lenny. And let's have, well, since Sean's been so keen to ram into something, let's have Sean be the Navis. I take it you know where to find the Navis if you can't see it? Excellent. So from the ship, let's see, we will want, yeah, engines and con. Quite right. And we will want control and con from Lieutenant Lenny. So let's see what we get. Difficulty 1, so nothing that full here. 12 and 11, 2 successes, 1 over and above what you needed. Nice, 1 momentum in the bank. Cool. Coming across this map again. Okay.
Well, we'll just nod approvingly at Lenny.
Doesn't need to say anything. Communicates with actions. So, as the Navis is maneuvering past a dense cloud, the sensors do detect something kind of odd and interesting in the Oort cloud. Something over here is registering as not like the rest. If everybody can see that.
Ron, all I can think of is, you know what sounds like Oort cloud? Clawt cloud.
Maybe that's where Clawt was born.
And nursery.
Man,
Exactly.
Dad, you didn't tell me you had a whole bunch more kids.
So,
You
there
know,
appears
talking
to
about
be...
Oort clouds, of course, the wrong subject.
So, there appears to be some kind of strange spaceborne, for lack of a better word, structure, just kind of floating in space. Definitely doesn't appear to be anything like what else is currently in the cloud, which is basically just a lot of blocks of frozen gases and rocks. This has the best comparison any of you can draw is a large rock that appears pitted in many places, almost like a beehive.
How close are we to the Romulan border, out of interest?
Not very close at all, actually, as it turns out.
That's
I would
unusual
put
for
you
us.
in the. I would put you more in the galactic north, well away from the galactic northeast, which is where the Romulans are. Not the bees. Yes, quite.
Bees.
So, anybody who wants to give it a look, like, well, I don't know what you want to do in regards to this strange structure.
Attack!
Both scanning it.
Fire a holographic torpedo at it and see what the hologram sees.
Oh my god!
Just send a probe out would be probably easier.
No, you know what? We're gonna ram it now. Sod it.
Just send 4 out
Look.
in a probe.
I bet with a non-lethal Lucian talks, apparently we'll go through all of our things now.
Lock S foils in attack position and head in.
And there's one of our cross-franchise references for the night.
Yellow alert. Shields up.
Yeah.
Sure, it does mean changing the bulb.
Remember, it goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
Hovers there for a moment
Every
before it
time,
remembers which one it was meant to go for. So yes, anybody who wants to scan the structure can do so using reason and science, assisted by the ship's sensors and science. So who wants to give it a scan?
Alright.
Kef. I think Kef. Kef should do it.
Well, Mike spoke up first, but if Keth wants to assist, that's fine. Or
I don't think Kev wants to. It's
I
just
don't
like
think Kev
just
wants
glaring at him. Kev.
Keth just has that perpetually worried look of, oh, what are they going to make me do this time that I was not trained for? You know, poor engineer Keth is going to come away from this with more grey hairs than he started with.
But he's going to be a wiser. He's going to be a wiser officer for it.
If not really confused. Captain Akul, you have no idea what they made me do. Everything.
They
Anywho,
wanted to make me make a non-lethal dagger.
get those filthy words out of your mouth, engineer.
Yeah, Akil wouldn't believe it because Akil's got that much respect for us. How dare you lie about the Federation, Kev?
Could we say next that they made holographic torpedoes or some nonsense like that?
Get out of my sight,
Minds
Kev!
that even the Klingons frown upon.
Nevertheless, if you do want to bring Kath in on this, I mean, his science is only 2, but he can always help, of course. With reason and science.
Let's let someone who's actually science-based, like Mono.
Okay, so Ori and his boy Mono. Let's have. I mean, sorry.
Computers as a focus.
Sure.
Okay.
As for Mono, who have we not had in a bit? Alex, you were the one who came up with the actual sane idea of scanning.
Well, I said probe, but fair enough.
Yeah, I said either way. If you could be Mono for me, please. Reason and science. And can I have somebody as the ship? Let's go... Webby, you haven't been the Navis in a bit. The Navis is using sensors and science, please. Yes, Alex.
Of astrological phenomena?
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, he can approach it from that perspective, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I just realised I rolled 2. I was going to roll 1, sorry.
Okay, we'll count the 7 then rather than the 8. That's a success.
What, you wanted sensors and science?
Sensors and science from the Navis, please, yes. Okay, not bad all around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 all together. Excuse me. And, which means you get 2 whole momentum for that one. Okay. The structure appears to be, according to these scans, partially organic in nature. Other than that, it's difficult to tell much about it. There's definitely a power signature coming from this, whatever it is, but a great deal of its mass appears to be made out of organic materials. So potentially to get a more thorough scan, you might need to bring somebody with medicine on board. So you might need to call Dr. Bertram in on this one.
Okay, let's put Bertram in a sensor pod, send him out there.
Or you could at least have Bertram at least look at the scans and interpret them from a biological perspective.
Nah, the idea's been proposed now. We stick you in a probe and fire him.
No, we just put a saddle on one of the holographic torpedoes and fire it. With him on it. You can ride it there.
Even better.
Doctor, what do you see? Ah!
What do you see? Well, I see these scan results that you guys have sent me as you click the wrong button. You click the send scan button, not the put your chief medical officer on the torpedo and fire him out like the only senior member from Dr. Lovejoy.
We'll let you wear an EVA suit.
Well, I'll get back to you when I've invented my bio EVA suit. Was it reason and engineering you said, Matt?
For you, it's going to be reason and medicine.
Medicine, yeah. Don't know. I said engineering. Do any of my focuses come in, like xenobiology or biotech or anything like that? Oh, cool. 2 successes.
2 successes. Nice. Alright, so whereas the initial sensor scans were a bit inconclusive, Dr. Bertram taking a look at them determines that it seems almost like some kind of host organism for other life forms.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a
I'll
biological
pass that on.
component to the whole thing, but it does seem as if there are multiple life signs coming from within the structure.
It could even be some sort of, well, if there are power systems and life signs on there, maybe it's even some sort of biologically engineered spacefaring structure, or maybe even a ship.
So, what would you like to do?
Probably, I would, much as it's interesting at the moment, our primary mission is to find out what happened to the colony. So leave a probe and carry on. Would be my
Bertram
suggestion.
looks sad.
Well, if folks are on board with the plan of leave a probe and just carry on.
Commander's orders, captain's orders.
Merely a suggestion, not an order.
Everyone else on board with that?
Yes.
Okay. So a probe is easy enough to fire. The structure itself isn't moving, so you just fire a probe in its direction and start to chart a course continuing on towards the planet, which is fine. As the probe gets fired out, that's when on his sensor readout, Ori gets an alert, and it seems that the spaceborne structure is starting to increase its power output.
Ooh. Is this a response to the sensor? Or us?
Well, that's not exactly easy to tell, because from one of the indentations along the structure, they all start to glow with an illumination that seems to start from somewhere inside of the thing itself. This illumination and the incumbent power readings that are building up on the scanners start to swell and pulse until eventually something is shot out into space and kind of trails along like a flare almost before it then kind of explodes in space.
I'll report that to the bridge crew.
Quite harmless, but then it launches another 2, and then launches another 4, and before you know it, there's this saturation of these bright green bursts of whatever are now streaking through the void in all directions.
I'm getting War of the Worlds vibes from this.
And I am going to go with creating a new complication for the area, a trait. The unknown structure starts to basically fling in practically every direction around it, these long globules of green plasma. At which point...
Should we back up? I guess not.
Now I need to have a quick look at this. Yay! So, Lieutenant Lenny is there just steering this thing as steering the Navis as the plasma starts getting fired in every direction. Some of it impacting against the rock, some of it impacting against the adjacent balls of ice, and a good many of them start trailing themselves towards the Navis, which, when they impact, they don't seem to do anything like shake the superstructure. What they do is deplete your shields and your power.
That's not cool. They're feeding off of us.
So, so there we go. We are now in pretty much a combat situation, more or less. Stealing my power? How dare you!
I mean, can we back away from all this? Or...
can definitely give it a good old go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw your tokens onto here so you can get a read on characters. Nice try, Sean. Bring it back. We can put you all together near to the ship.
I'm just going to say, I wouldn't mind a sample of that plasma.
I mean, that is something you would say.
But chewed like that, don't deserve being the doctor to the plasma.
Right, so Lenny was actually piloting this.
I took a point of daring. Is that enough for me to actually overrule and declare him medically incompetent? Anyway,
Right.
you have the entire port nacelle. All I want is one little globule.
Let me just take people's names out of the vey. We should know who everybody appears to be by now. Right. And Nova as the last one. Right, so one of the other new ways of managing a few things I'm going to try and introduce today. Mostly for our operations officer. So, every department on the ship is represented by either command, con, engineering, medicine, science, or security, and your ship requires power to each of those different systems in order to get them to function. So, usually our operations officer is responsible for distributing power from the main power system of the ship, in this case the Navis, and allocating them to the different departments. If a department has no allocation of power, then the ship cannot assist in any action that requires that department. So, for example, if we have got 2 con for the Navis, which means the Navis can take a maximum of 2 points of power into its con. If it was to lose both of those points of power allocated to con, then the ship would no longer be able to assist with Helm maneuvers. It would be all down to the pilot themselves. Any action that takes power would take power from the requisite department it was allocated to. So usually, like when you do an attack pattern, it drains a point of power. In this case, it would drain a point of power from con. So, the first thing I would like Sean to do is, as our operations officer, is to confirm that you can edit any of these text boxes that I've got here for each of the departments. So, can you see the drawing tools, the pencil tool on the left-hand side?
Yep.
Cool. The topmost one, which is just the segmented square, allows you to select any of them. So if you double-click on one of them, say command, it should open up a little edit box for you. Does it? No? Ah, poop. Can you create your own one then, if you create your own text? Put it anywhere you want. You know, I'll get mine out of the way as soon as you put yours on. There we are. So you should be able to change the text to be whatever you like. So it seems that you can create your own, but you can't edit any of the ones that I do. So essentially, what I would like you to do is you're taking power from command. Let me just move mine out of the way then. Boink. So let me remove mine. So essentially, yeah, you have got currently 12 power from the Navis that you can allocate to the ship's systems. Allocate them as you see fit. You are the ops officer. The power is yours, literally.
Wow, this is turning into bureaucracy simulator now then. If someone's just going to be micromanaging power on every turn.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to use this or not.
You didn't submit Form 27B, therefore we can't transfer the power to your department. You'll have to wait until you've completed the form, and the relevant departments have also agreed to share the power that you've requested.
So, you know, this is supposed to be what the ops officer does, is allocate power, move power around. So it's up to the ops officer to give each department the power they need to function, or to pull power away from non-essential systems in order to put them where they are definitely needed in time of crisis. So hopefully this gives you more of a feeling of doing that job. If we think that it's too much bureaucracy and it slows things down too much, or you don't enjoy doing it, then we will consider letting it go. But we'll give it a try first and see how we do. So we have got Command on Engineering, Medicine, Science, Security. You also should have access to the Navis, so you can pull points of power from the Navis and allocate them to the ship systems however you want. You can only put as many points in the system as it has a rating, basically. So Command can only have a maximum of 1 power ever given to it, Con can only have 2, etc. blah de blah. Command doesn't need anything, in fact it's a waste of space, he's adding power back. We don't need no stinking Command. Okay. So you've allocated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of power. So then, Sean, if you could please remove 11 points of power from the Navis to represent your allocation of power to the essential systems. Excellent. So, that's basically your operations officer's turn for this turn. Nova has allocated power as they have deemed necessary. Who wants to go next? Do you want Command to go next in order to try and create some advantages? Do you want somebody from Engineering to go next to bring some power back? What was that, Webby?
Command's frozen, the bridge is in the dark.
Down to emergency mood lighting.
That's correct.
So, it just occurred to me I haven't actually shown you what the thing looks like. There it is. Ba-ba. So there it is, looming out of the rocks. Just kind of throwing balls of plasma in every direction.
Goodness gracious, great balls of plasma.
Quite. So, so really this kind of introduces the idea that the operations officer should really go first in order to allocate power as necessary. So now you have the decision of who goes next. Do you want to initiate a Helm maneuver? Do you want a commanding officer to create an advantage? Do you want someone from Engineering to now, try and bring back some more power or some such? Maybe bring your chief engineer in action. What would you like to do? There we are, there's chief engineer.
I think the initial one is to get out, is to back up.
Back up. Okay, so that sounds like we need Lenny to just give us a basic.
Lenny, or Lenny, yeah, step, let the big boys play now.
Okay. We get Fazanan instead to basically jump into the Helm. back onto his seat.
Good today, Lenny. You did good.
Alright, so I've got push the limits, so that reduces anything due to environmental or damage or difficulty by 1.
Right, so you've
So
got
I'll do
twice as much going on there. So yeah, you will have difficulty due to the Oort cloud, and you will have difficulty because you've got plasma being thrown in every direction. So any maneuver you do will have a difficulty raised by 1 rather than 2, thanks to your ability.
and then I think I shall I shall use a Starcraft.
Starcross. Treat your twice the discipline score for this. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Good, good, good. Three successes on the money. So you're moving back the way you came? Was that the idea? Backing
Yes.
up? Yes. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. Now, I know I'm actually moving you onto the image of rocks, but you are not actually colliding with rocks. It is all fine. Alright, so, does somebody else of you guys want to go next, or do you want to see what the structure does first? If it does anything at all. I mean, does somebody want to try and get more power back? Does somebody want to get the shields back? Does somebody want to create an advantage or a complication? What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, can we see if it's responding in any way to what we've done?
If you want, you can wait and then to do an action and to see what it's doing. Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody on board with that? Okay, alright, let's see. There are... Your sensors pick up focused jets of plasma that start to ignite from various different apertures in the structure, and the structure starts to slowly move, apparently tracking your course. It's trying to stay within a certain distance of you. So it is still saturating the area and firing off these plasma bursts. So what would you like to
Does
do
it
now?
seem like some kind of attack?
Well, it's entirely possible.
It depends if the essentially it could be some sort of spacefaring creature. This is its way of feeding, given the energy drain effects of the plasma, and it might be it's picked up the ship's power sources as a potential source of food.
I mean, are we looking like a space nursery maybe, or some sort of biological space entity?
So say that again. I didn't cut off a
Well,
bit there, Mike.
we detected biological signs. They're drawing our power. Could this be like or some sort of advanced being or some sort of space biological being, and they're feeding on us?
Yeah.
Anything's possible. You might need to activate some scans to get more of a definitive idea. So that could be your next action.
We don't have any power.
You do have power to science.
Can we also potentially look to invert the shield output so that we look not tasty? We're untasty, not tasty.
Change the polarity of the shield.
Okay,
Make us
so
taste nasty.
so somebody from engineering or security could try and have a tinker with the shields in order to invert the frequency, create a dissonance rather than a sympathy. If you want to try and do that, certainly. So what would you like to try first? would suggest then maybe going with what was recommended first, which was basically seeing what's going on, so... Okay, no problem. Let's go with scans then, which sounds like an Ori jobby.
Well, very well.
Your ops officer has been nice enough to grant science power. Not all the power it needs, but power enough to still get the system to assist. So if I could ask Gareth, as per usual, to be the Navis.
Yep.
Assisting with sensors and science, control and science from Ori, please, with a focus of...
Oh no, control.
Oh no,
Yourself,
one of
Ori.
your better stats. Let's go with xenoanthropology as your focus.
Nice.
Not
I
every
don't
day
think
we
that's
get to
been
bust
used
that out.
yet. It's the only time it's been busted out. Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
Ori.
Overall, then, unless you want to spend a determination to re-roll those results, you don't have
I
to.
do.
You do, okay. So this will be one of those times where you use one of your values.
Okay.
So this would be where you
Rapid
would note it in
hypothesis.
your log.
Okay. Well, let's go. Hold on.
You could always go with, let's see what's out there,
Okay.
because you're basically trying to scan an unknown life form to see what's going on.
Okay, hold on one second.
That's fine, no problem. I mean, you obviously don't have to do it right the heck now, but as long as you do remember to note down that you used your value of let's see what's out there at some point during this episode, that would be great. As you were
Okay.
determined to scan this creature, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Alright. So let's do this.
So you can re-roll,
Is that
hit the
right?
re-roll result. I can't speak. Hit the re-roll results button.
Okay. Okay.
So same as before,
Come
2
on.
dice with a focus. That's better. 2 successes. Alright. So, from what you could discern, from what you can discern with, essentially because the probe is there as well, quite close, feeding you data, you don't think that the whatever that is feeding off of you. The power and shield drain seems to be an effect of the plasma bolts that it's saturating the area with. There's nothing to indicate that it's drawing energy into itself in any way. These bursts of concentrated, what is it? Ionized plasma don't seem to be alive in any way, although they do seem to be organically derived. So these bolts
Oh,
are being
what's-
fired off and are affecting your power systems.
What's causing the plasma to be... Do we know that?
You're not sure yet, but something from within that spaceborne structure is basically puffing out all of these bolts of ionized plasma. They are saturating the area, but they do seem to be concentrating their bursts in the area around the Navis.
And we've moved away to see if it follows us, right?
Yes, and it does appear to be following you, but from the readings you get, their sublight speed is mostly derived from a kind of a concentrated plasma jet. So if you wanted to, you could potentially outrun them in a race.
In the vein of Deanna Troy, could our telepaths try to sense any sort of, emotions or thoughts? I don't know that his empathy is strong enough.
And Nova hasn't technically taken an action besides allocating power, so if you want, Nova could use her action to use Betazoid empathy.
I mean, he would suggest that because she could sense things outside of the ship.
Betazoids Betazoid telepathy and empathy hasn't ever been consistently, how shall we say, limited. They seem to be able to sense anybody they can see, even if it's over a view screen, so make of that what you will. But yes, Sean, if that's something that Nova would like to try. Okay, so usual thing, insight and command with your empathy-based focus, please. I'll make this difficulty 1. Nice. 2 successes, so you got 1 over what you needed. Nice. 1 goes into momentum. Okay. There's a very primitive sense of territorial hostility that Nova's getting from this. Very much a case of you are being perceived as an intruder, and this is therefore more of an animalistic kind of territorial defense.
Well, we should drop a note and leave.
We tried to deliver your parcel.
Like a warning beacon. Put like a warning beacon and get the heck out of there.
Okay, so if you want to take some action to now try and drop a warning beacon and leave, you can certainly do that. I mean, something Helm
probably
related.
Clear that with the captain and first officer.
Oh yeah, fire at it. Don't go away.
We do kind of have a mission in this system to figure out what happened.
Yeah,
There's
we know which out. We know which
people
out. Yeah.
potentially missing or dead.
No, it's fine. We know what happened now. Strange alien turned up, blew it up, saved the colony. We go home now.
Okay, so thanks for playing, guys. That was a very quick episode.
Have a good day.
So that was how I got promoted.
So that was basically nope and bye.
No, I think yes, we will. We reckon we can outrun it. It probably is going to chase us because it's now like we're in this territory. But we've got time. We'll leave it here. Can we potentially disrupt? I don't know. It's plasma just going to be. It's just what every reaction is. They come up to the reaction, so we can't slow it down unless we create gravity well.
Certainly options.
Physics to create gravity well.
I mean, you use gravitons in your deflector shield, so.
Where do we want to send it?
Not here.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
Not here. Not here. We can do.
I mean, why don't you just drop the beacon and then go into stealth and sneak past it? Cloak.
We'll still be emitting. We're still emitting.
We don't know how it's following us.
That's a good point.
Anybody fancy using the Bifrost drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
You want to use the Bifrost drive in system, just for lols.
As a catapult. So
No,
effectively, I'd like to
No.
pull them into
No.
our bubble
No.
and then fire them halfway across the universe and stay
No.
stationary.
Where have they gone? I don't know. Someone else's problem now.
You said not here, Captain. They're not here.
Okay, so what's the plan? Are you gonna do something with the Bifrost drive to throw them somewhere else, or are you gonna use the Bifrost drive to jump away?
We are not using the Bifrost drive.
We can't throw them. That's unethical.
I think that just made the captain a very sad panda.
Across space, yes. No.
Hang on, let me
We could.
turn all this noise down a minute, just so I can actually hear what Sean's saying. plasma bursts, plasma heavy, plasma release.
We gotta get Sean louder.
Yes. What was your idea, Sean? What was your point?
I was saying we should have been an away team on top.
Beaming away, Timo.
Bertram would totally volunteer for that.
No.
There we go. We've already got a command
I
lead.
can't see a downside here. We're beaming Nova and Bertram over to an alien environment that may or may not have oxygen.
Right, who's next? Who else is going to vote yes then? You know, go on, who else wants to commit suicide?
Alright, in all seriousness, what would you like to do?
Bertram again.
Just get away from them. Well, I'm quite happy to use the Bifrost drive because then it gives us the maximum amount of time to get out of here.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to just try and just jump
To the actual planet.
straight to the actual planet?
Straight to
Ooh,
planet.
yay! Oh, look, the operations officer is pulling away all the power from on as well.
It's not
Nope.
the operation officer's turn.
You can't move
You're
now.
gonna
I've pulled
regret
all the
giving
power
Sean
away.
That kind of. I was you're going to regret
thought-
giving him that power.
Yeah, I thought it came from engineering as well. It's not actually.
Well, the
part-
Bifrost is going to consume all 3 points of power from engineering in order to do this, but the first thing we need to do is plot navigation. So we are definitely going to need somebody with astronavigation to plot a very precise location for this to go. This will also actually be, because I do believe it's Unit Hello that plots the probabilities. And it's Thazanan that actually steers the thing whilst you're in the... Oh, what do they call it again?
Oort.
No, pardon me, the mycelial network.
We don't actually go into the mycelial network, do we?
You still do, yes.
I didn't think we were using the mycelium. I thought we were using similar to transwarp.
I wonder if these creatures come from the mycelial network.
You still have to use some travel vector to go, and the your original Bifrost, your dark matter thingamajig was developed originally to travel through the mycelial network. So I assumed it was a more effective, more precise version of that earlier drive.
Probably is.
Except,
used it
you know,
yet.
it's more refined. You've gotten rid of all the kinks.
Captain hasn't read the note.
Neither is the commander. We just got it installed.
It
Like, yeah, we'll have
said it contained a port to sell. I wasn't looking any further.
So we're probably going to need Unit Hello's quantum computing here, as well as Thazanan's astronavigation foci to work together to get the ship where it needs to go properly. And of course, we need to go to Black Alert.
It's not on the
Fire
Roy Gabib
ultraviolet.
scale. Yeah, it's not on the Roy Gabib scale. It takes ages for it to cycle round to black.
Nevertheless, it at least gives you the whoop, whoop, whoop. So, we are going to want... Ooh, let's see. You're doing it in
Stop
system.
draining the power.
Urgent engineering problem. We need to change the bulb to a black one.
We'll take your toys away from you.
Are we sure we can't beam some of that plasma onto the study?
You can try and do that before you jump away if you really, really want to.
It's totally because this might have something to do with the communications from the colony stopping, and we might need information going in, and not at all because I really want to study that plasma.
Okay, fine, but that means that the spaceborne entity gets another chance to saturate the area with ionized plasma, which means the shields go down by 4 again. And this time the power reserve is now all gone, so what power is in the system at the moment is what's in the system. And let me see, you didn't have enough power left. There's an extra effect, so you are going to... It's a breach, but not a breach. Your sensors have now suffered a malfunction as power is taken away from sensors. So, unfortunately, that means that Thazanan and Hello are going to have to compute this pretty much blind. So I am now up in the difficulty of this to a very nice 3. So, can I get reason and... Let's see... Quantum computing suggests science from Unit Hello, and this is going to be... Control and Con, I do believe, with Thazanan. You can choose which one of you leads, which one of you assists. And of course we're going to want someone to try and beam in some of that plasma, apparently. So someone else is going to need that as a separate task. So whoever wants to volunteer for that is going to need to give me a control and engineering check. And I have a feeling I know who it's going to be. So
Bertram.
I'm going to bring in... Jude! And since it was Gareth's idea, Gareth can be Jude.
Yeah. Is that control and engineering?
Indeedy do. This is also difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Oof! Hello! What did you do? It was that power that just got lost from sensors.
Yeah, I now want to actually throw in determination for the value. Do the job well enough, and Bertram might leave you alone.
Legion of...
Does anyone mind if I do that?
Well, before you do that, Sean, is Unit Hello using a determination to re-roll that 20, or leaving as is? Leaving. Okay. There's complications. They're always fun that way. Webby, what's the Legion of Honor for? Ignoring the complication. Okay. Cool. Alright then. Which means we go back to Gareth. You were saying... sorry?
Do the determination, do the job well enough, they might leave you alone. Does anyone have an objection to me burning that determination to the tube?
Yep. Okay, I will go with that.
Okay. No one said no, so...
Because of the power drain that's going to happen because of Black Alert, he's going to have no assistance from the ship whatsoever on this, so it's all down to Lechude's pure talent.
4 successes.
4 successes. We got 1 over what I thought he would need. There we go. Good God. Well done, Lechude. So he beams some of the plasma, the ionized plasma, on board. So he has to replicate something to contain it in, whilst it's in the pattern buffer, but that's fine. So the last thing we need is for Thazanan to give us 2 dice and a control and con, with astronavigation as a focus.
I think I shall... What shall I? Yeah, I shall spend a point of momentum. But then I will also use the Starfleet Medal of Honor, which will give 2 momentum back if it's successful.
Nice. Whoa, look at that. 3 and 2 and 2 more, so whoosh. Alright, so purely on instinct and talent alone, with unfortunately no help from Unit Hello, who had a bit of a short circuit due to sensors being essentially knocked out by the ionized plasma bursts. Keval has to basically pilot the Navis through in a very, very short jump through the mycelial network just on feel alone, and so it's a case of blip, and we arrive.
It's okay, buddy. You'll have the next one.
Okay. So, the Navis arrives with a bit of a jolt. And it is parked near to the 4th planet in the system. You still have sensors currently down. And, of course, you have shields at just over half strength. But other than that... Oh, yeah, of course. And you've got the big problem of there now being no power. So, let me also... give you also the mission directive. Probe is currently still transmitting, yes, but because you need sensors to get. Actually, it's communications that comes through, so ignore what I just said.
Keval, could you or Lenny go and report to the Carpathian?
Well, this
the
becomes
Californian we've
the
still
thing
got.
as we jump... Carpathia.
Carpathia.
Yes, as we jump to the
Because
bridge.
that's got its own power system.
Is that the one with all the scratches?
It is now.
It's always got scratches, even when it's been polished and repaired, it has a scratch.
Well, yeah, we told the repair crew to paint that scratch back on. It saved it getting more.
All right then.
I'm back. Did we win?
Yes, but you're now in a ship that's down to about 55% shields, and its power reserves are practically gone, and the sensors are currently on the fritz because they have lost power too.
All right. I'm willing
And
to
we
shut
might have
power
got
to my 3 main hot tubs, if it helps.
Oh, we've now got maximum power again then.
We might have got you married to a weird mushroom for a year and a day, but we're not quite sure.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
It's because he's a fun guy.
Ah, somebody had to do it. I mean, there wasn't much room for anything else, really. I would say I'm sorry for that joke, but I'd be lying. In any case, what would you like to do first? You've got shields, you've got power,
Well,
you've got
studying the plasma.
sensors, you've got investigating the plasma, yeah, you've got lots of stuff you can try and do. So what would you like to do first?
I think we'll just get the power back online.
Okay.
And the sensors. Well, sensors, well, we could potentially, as Navis said, is that the Carpathia is, looks like it's heading planet side.
I mean, do you want to prep that immediately, or do you want to get a few... do you want to repair sensors first and get a scan of the planet, or do you just want to do that whilst you're in transit with the Carpathia? That's a good point, actually. Nova took a great deal of power, took the only power from command away, which means you've got no intership communication at the moment.
Telepathy.
Aha. Well
Looks
thought.
like let's get sensors back online then.
Okie dokie. So, that sounds like engineering, or, well, yes, definitely an engineering problem. So, you've got your chief engineer, Bravo, you've got engineer Keth, you of course have got Stevens as well, you've got Edwards, of course. Any number of those guys could do something with taking care of the sensors. Anybody with an actual focus in sensors could do it too, so we're talking Feazal. What about Mono? Mono has got sensor operations, so Mono could potentially try and get the sensors back as well. Who would you like to use? Nobody? Okay, then I will suggest maybe Mono because he has...
Chief Bravo.
Use Chief Bravo. Okie dokie.
Or Chief Bravo Mono.
Chief Bravo and Mono. Okay, cool. So, let's see. Actually, that's a good point, because he has got collaboration engineering. Whenever an ally attempts a task using this discipline, you may spend a momentum to allow them to use your score and one of your focuses. So, at the cost of one measly point of momentum, you could have Mono use Bravo's Engineering 5.
Sounds like a plan.
But Mono could use his own focus of sensor operation, so there we go. Cool. So essentially, can I have... Well, Mike, or Mono is one of your boys, so you may as well go... Control and Engineering, 1 dice for Lieutenant Mono, please, with your focus of sensor operation. And Davis, Chief Engineer Bravo was your boy at one point, so you may as well jump in on this guy. This is going to be Control and Engineering for him, with Damage Control and Repair as a focus, more than likely.
Right, who's lead on this one?
Bravo.
Okay.
But if you spend a point of momentum, Mono can use Bravo's engineering score. Which means
Yeah, let's do that.
Which means that rather than rolling 0 successes, what he actually rolled was 1 success. Because he's using Bravo's engineering score of 5. Which means Mono got a success. Nice. Unfortunately, there's a complication in there.
Dun, dun, dun.
Does Bravo want to use a determination, or is somebody else going to use another Legion of Honor? Here it is.
I use one of them.
Yeah, I've used 2 of mine, so someone else can use one.
Yes, quite. Alright, so we got 2 successes overall, which means for the time being the sensor drain on the Navis has now been fixed. Sensors are now operational again. The problem you have, of course, is that your power's pretty low. But there's still power at the moment. Pardon me, Davis, I talked over you there.
We've got a big reactor, it'll fix itself in the long run. We're not out of fuel.
So, yes, there was still power allocated to the science department as a result of Nova moving the power around, so science can try and use the sensors now to give the planet a good old scan.
Let's go.
Okay. So, in that case, once again, Gareth, can I get you to be the Navis? The Navis will be giving me sensors and science, and whoever you want to use sensors. I mean, Ori, it's usually Ori's job as Chief of Science, or you could get one of the others to do it, it's entirely up to you. But Ori's usually keen for a go, so let's assume.
Yep, let's do it.
I like the decisiveness.
Or we're rolling.
So you're rolling control and science this time. And your focus of computers... Your focus of computers will work in this case as well. Groovy, 1 success. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Alright then, so... Scans of the surface. Right, the good news is the probe information... Your sensors at the moment indicate that the probe is back where it was at the edge of the Oort cloud, and there's no sign currently of that alien structure, whatever it was, following you. So you've definitely outrun it, wherever it is. Not entirely sure at the moment, what with the saturation of ionized plasma in that general area making scans of that area very difficult. But now that you are here... You are getting inconclusive scans from the surface. Visual scans of the planet suggest no significant damage, but as soon as visual scanners eventually come over the settlement that is down on the planet, there's definitely evidence of damage. There is a landing pad in the city itself that is established down on the planet, which is strewn with what looks like wreckage. Wreckage maybe of a ship. It's difficult to tell at this height. There is no visible sign of human activity or humanoid activity. But there are a number of electromagnetic anomalies in the atmosphere of the planet, which is making scanning difficult, and therefore making the transporter scanners unable to get any kind of fix on a destination. So using the transporters is at this point definitely a no-no. So, with that information, what would you like to do? Yes, Gareth?
See, the plasma sample that we got, is there any kind of like energy residue that might be similar to the electromagnetic readings we're getting that might indicate the presence of similar creatures on the planet itself?
Being that you have got basically a massive ball of essentially fire, which has got almost like liquid fire, which has got a heavily ionized, basically static charge to the thing. It's difficult to get too much from it. It's obviously biologically born, because it's very analog. It's very imprecise. Whether or not there's any correlation between the ionization effect of the plasma and the electromagnetic anomalies on the planet is difficult to tell, but you can always give it a good old go if you want.
Yep, I'll give this a go.
Which suggests you're trying to derive a correlation between something which is an atmospheric or a kind of energy type. This is definitely not going to be one of Bertram's focuses if it's Bertram that does it. Otherwise, Gareth, you can suggest a character that you would prefer to roll this kind of thing for. Or with.
What sort of focuses would be sort of...
Anyone with sensors would definitely be a good one.
Yep.
Anything to do with electromagnetics or some such like that. I mean, there's once again Monod with his astrological phenomena. None of Edwards' things come into this.
Definitely looks like a Pisces.
None of Vibus's power systems things really seem to fit. Nor does yours.
I could pull in a past life on it, but
you could, if you
probably
really wanted
not
to.
worth it at this point.
On Nova. Tinkering, not really. Inner workings, in a general sense, maybe. I'm mostly looking for folks who have got any kind of focus in electromagnetism or that kind of area. If not, then it's just basically going to be anybody with a reasonably good science score.
Haha, I know a guy.
Well, seeing as you're in sick bay after another hot tub accident, do you want to have a look at this while you're here?
Is that what we're calling them now?
I've got to do better.
That's
Okay,
what
so-
I said.
Oort group.
Think of it this way: if we get any good information out of this, maybe a way to make your hot tubs more efficient with this.
I like the sound of that.
I mean, we shouldn't be encouraging his quest to create for some STDs to evolve, but fine.
My theory is they won't be able to sustain the plasma.
Alright, anybody who wants to can give me an insight and science check with analysing the plasma ball and seeing if there's a direct correlation to a direct connection to the electromagnetic whoopsie-daisy that's going down in the planet's atmosphere. So
I'd like to do that. Can I do that?
cool. So
Can you focus?
insight and science.
With a focus in holography, right?
Right, not.
Ah, crap.
Well, I'll assist if you want, seeing as it was.
Sure.
So I brought it up.
Look, and that's about a focus.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. So 3 successes in total. Okay. Okay.
We make a good team.
Hmm.
Yay! Science, team science.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so there does the ionic charge to the plasma definitely seems to have similarities to the electromagnetic spots that are going on within the atmosphere of the planet. Yes. With that many successes, I will say yes, there is definitely a similarity. Whether or not that means they're generated exactly the same way, it's difficult to tell, because you're mostly analysing spots of electromagnetic interference in a planet's atmosphere compared to a blob of electrified fire. So, but you know,
Well,
you've
at least
got
warn the captain of the possibility.
yeah. So you've got space magic reasons for being able to tell that there's a possible connection there.
Captain, using multimodal reflection sorting, I detected a similarity.
Absolutely. Technobabble, nothing like it.
Yep. Well, it's not Star Trek if we don't have technobabble.
You do get this much. Records indicate that the colony had approximately 200 workers, researchers, administrators, and support staff. So that's the kind of number of people that you're looking at should be on the surface. At the moment, however, there's no visual indication of any of those people just from visual sensors on the ship.
Could we send a probe down?
You can try, but chances are it'll be met with the same electromagnetic anomalies that are in the atmosphere, which will make it difficult for the probe to glean much.
Well,
But you know, you can just send one down and see what happens.
we have at my job we had to deal with ambient electricity
Mhm.
to read people's brain waves, and we have filter settings that filter out certain frequencies we don't want to see. Is that not something we could adjust on the probe? We could analyze the electrical magnetic resonances and then adjust settings on the probe to be less affected, or
Cool. Sounds reasonable to me. Okay. I would like, therefore, somebody who wants to try and rejig said probe to see if you can send it down with getting some reasonable input. Give me reason and science difficulty 2, please.
all right, Bertram.
It's Bertram's turn.
You want me to help?
Now, anybody who wants to. There's a lot of science stuff going on at the moment. Gee whiz.
Yeah, I mean, Ori's done a lot. There's somebody else doing it.
Yep, if somebody else wants to have a go, feel free. I mean, we've got Fizal, we've got Jenny herself, we got Mono, we got Kirst, we got...
reasonable science.
I mean, we got Turin. Edwards is reasonable at science as well, absolutely. He's more than reasonable, he's really good. Reasonable. How modest. So absolutely, anybody who wants to help can help. So, reason and science difficulty 2, please, from whoever wants to try. And I mean, it makes sense for Edwards to try because he's a bit of an engineering scab himself.
That sounds good.
Let's alter a probe.
helping.
Andrews has assisted with a success. Very nice.
Yay.
You said anyone could help out, so
Yeah, indeed. So, Alex, if you want to give it a roll for Edwards, please.
Was it reason, did you say? Or was it...
Reason, yes, please. Oh, good lordy! Well, Edwards is on the money, and apparently he only wanted to assist, so we are left with somebody to lead the whole endeavour.
Oh, I thought I was assisting, sorry.
You can roll another one if you
I
want.
was volunteering to help. Oh, right.
Seems the captain has basically given Mr. Edwards the task. Another one. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, so with all of that, the probe has some initial difficulty getting through the atmosphere, mostly because the electromagnetic anomalies are affecting the engines and the guidance on the probe. That does mean that when it comes time to actually fly down, it's going to be a bit more difficult, but for a pilot like Thazanan, it's probably going to be a negligible level of difficulty. However, having just made the adjustments you did make to the probe, you have managed to modify the probe in such a way that you can isolate the electromagnetic anomalies. So you now have a pretty good map of where these blobs of EM activity are in the atmosphere, and therefore it will allow you to more easily navigate past, through, around said anomalies. So, nicely done. Is there anything else you would like to get done before any kind of sojourn to the surface is made? I mean, main power is one thing, but according to your first officer, that's fine. That can solve itself over a slow period of time.
I'd prefer to have some power back if we need to jump rapidly, if anything were to turn up.
Ooh, I can't hear him at all.
No? I heard most of what Webby just said.
So that was we could do with some power for
Yes.
command. I'd like to get a start on prepping my argument for why the captain needs to go down to the surface.
I need time to get the slideshow ready. Alright, so if we jump quickly back to orbit, this was the way the power was laid out originally, but obviously because of the drive, it sucked all out of the power out of engineering department. So at the moment, power distribution is looking more like this at the moment in time. So there's still power to Con, of course, there's still power to sickbay and on the medical decks. There's some power remaining, -10. He really doesn't want command to be able to do anything. There's good amounts of power still in the weapon systems, though, so if you want to restore some power, then, I mean, Nova has got, well, that is part of Nova's job, and you've got the little more power talent to go with it. Or you can, of course, do your Chief Engineer's ability to basically, when he succeeds at power management, he restores power equal to his engineering score, which of course is 5. So either of them, or both of them, work very well together to restore power. What would you like to do?
Happy to assist.
Okay. So
That sounds like a both of them.
that sounds like a both of them. So Davis, as usual, this is your boy, your former assistant. So he's probably leading. Power restoration and management is usually daring and engineering, difficulty 2. Nova has a little more power and therefore can spend 1 momentum whenever she succeeds at an engineering task to regain a point of power as well, so that could add a total of 6 and change to whatever you do. So there's Novas. And 4 successes overall. Good grief.
And you shared experience because it's the 2 betazoids working on the same job.
Shared experience was a point of determination. Gotcha. So there we go. 2 betazoids working on the job, which means they could communicate very quickly and very efficiently without that whole linguistic communication silliness that all the others seem to enjoy. I mean, when you think about it, from a betazoid's point of view, verbal communication is not very hygienic. Because there's spit flying everywhere.
I know, gross.
Or say out now, Ori's going into the gross. What's wrong with exchanging fluids? Anyway,
That's his favorite form of communication.
it's a universal language, really, isn't it? So, let's see. That was 6 successes in total when you only needed 2. So that's 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you actually regained 10 power there. Whoosh. Well, I don't think Nova needs to spend momentum to gain more power. You gained a whacking great amount. Nice, very nice indeed. But you did it anyway. Nice. Feel free to up the Navis's power by an extra point then. Okay, so with a great deal more power coaxed back out of the core, you are now in a better position than you were previously. So, now what would you like to do? I mean, the next thing that I can think of is basically the mission down to the surface and who's going to go.
If there's electromagnetics, the captain ain't going.
My argument has failed immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a good point.
Well, yeah, obviously if there's people who are injured and in need of whatever, medical assistance, then somebody from medical should
exotic alien creatures to examine.
Exactly.
Oh, and
Right, so
people
that means
to
that
heal,
Ori's,
yeah.
yes, that means that Ori's coming as well then.
Yes, indeed.
In both senses. Hey!
I was going to say.
Ori has a good medicine score.
Hey, I know biology too. Very, very
I
well.
learned the hard way.
Hard.
Hard.
This is where we get our PG-12 rating, folks. Anyway, so
Rating?
let's see. We got Bertram, we got Ori. Who else is going? I mean, we don't know the cause of whatever's going on down on the planet, so somebody from everywhere would probably be...
Since the captain
Probably need
can't
5
go,
Bravos.
since the captain can't go, Vibers have kind of been volunteered, and
Yep.
Engineering Bravo is gonna go. I only just got my ship sorted. Feck off.
So does somebody else from engineering, like
security?
security, also a good idea. Yep. If the captain's going,
Send a Nova as well.
send a Nova as well. Okay.
You've got, I think, for the piloting Keval for the craft.
Especially because of his talent, ability to ignore atmospheric.
Penny.
Oh! The captain gets to sit in the helm. Speaking of the captain not going on down, do you want to take Stevens maybe as one of the engineering cohort?
Yeah, can do. Or a Claw. Or a Kef. Kef!
Or a Clawt or a Kef. Kef. Kef once again with an exasperated look on his face of like, why? Why always me?
Well, tell us of another Klingon engineer's name now.
Or
You
Trek.
can't, so there we go. Too late now.
Kev, you're coming down to the planet. You want some fresh air.
Fresh air.
We'll let you fight someone.
Oh, can we do one away mission once when it is the sort of like the people that have the least people skills? So Lutude, Kev, just like an absolute away day out for the introverts.
Got led by Minoko. He's just
Yeah, Minoko, the most extroverted person on the ship.
With all the insufferable extra introverts and the
It's like
the
Morn.
misanthropes.
He never shuts up.
Minoko's the entire episode is just called Minoko's Day Out.
You know what? I've been wondering if it's worth us just doing this weird session where we use the captain's log rules and just randomly roll up stuff and see what the hell happens.
Would be neat.
I was going to do it
Yep,
for like...
Minoko's
I was actually
Day Out.
legitimately going to do it as Orai's, you know, a day with Lieutenant Orai and just see what ridiculousness ensues. But now that you've said it, I'm wondering if it's worth it doing it as a small cluster, just randomly generate a mission to see what happens to Mr. Monoko and the random cluster of minor characters. Who knows, maybe
And
we'll
it
do that
all
for the...
starts with the Romulan ale that went missing.
Or I know nothing about it.
Someone's found and accidentally pilfered your vibe as a stash, and the whole adventure is them trying to replace it before he notices.
Right, so somebody mentioned security. I mean, Keval also nicely fills the role of security with his very good security rating. So, that group of 7 could be sufficient, or would you prefer to take somebody actually from security as well to round it out to 8? What would you like to do?
Take security, Bravo.
Yeah, take a security Bravo.
Okay.
What you going to say? All that dangerous electromagnetism in the vein. Let's take hello. What could go wrong?
We could put him inside a rock, and that would block all the electromagnetic stuff.
Well, you're not wrong. Where did I put the
Claude takes one look at
shuttle?
you and shuffles slightly towards the wall.
So, let's see. We have got the Carpathia, and we need to populate it with all the folks who are going, which are these fine fellows. Right. Yeah. Why, that's finished playing. Okay. Copy. Send us to the Carpathia. Right. Everybody on. Whoosh. Alright then, so allocating yourselves, obviously someone's coming, Thazanan makes the most sense to be pilot, but there's always room for a co-pilot to assist. There's the token of the Carpathia itself when it becomes necessary to roll for the Carpathia. Otherwise folks can allocate themselves around the various consoles, like the Ops console, the Transporter console. Nova can have a play with the Transporter pad, absolutely.
That's a patriarch.
Just in case, you never know.
My God, this is the biggest bed I've ever seen. Look at it compared to the size of Bertram.
Yeah, I know. The sizes are a bit odd, because like a chair does fit into a square on the grid and therefore makes sense. I mean, Edwards has gone to the loo and so is sat on that square. He's that concerned about Thazanan's flying. I mean, it makes sense for security and to be on the tactical console. There's room for an Edwards on the other side of this console, or he can go and enjoy a sit down in one of the other rooms. It's fine.
Or he can just sit in the toilet. Gonna spend the entire mission on the loo.
Excuse me.
Actually,
Excuse me again.
that's a good point. Does somebody who actually has good con want to take the co-pilot seat?
That would be Edwards.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And Nova's
Alright
in the
then.
transporter just in case. Okay.
Nice, nice, nice. Alright, so, unless there's any other preparations you want to make before you leave, I mean, the planet does have a breathable atmosphere, so there's no real need to take EVA suits. But if you want to take any additional equipment with you, now would be the time to load up on such.
Why is Nova hiding in the port nacelle?
She's getting to work on this one.
There's always a port nacelle.
It's
Can never get away.
fine. I can get
I
the
would-
Carpathia replaced easily enough.
Everything will be port nacelle.
Are we taking a sound gun?
Yep, good question.
Yep. I would. Better
Sounds
prepared
good.
than not.
Okay,
Take
so...
a sound mine with you as well
So-
if you want.
We are
Oh, go on,
wearing
then.
EVA suits, right?
You don't have to wear EVA suits, no, because there is a breathable atmosphere down there, unless you can think of a reason to justify wearing an EVA suit.
Is there any sort of radiation that might be harmful to us?
Not that you've been able
That's
to
it,
detect with scans, no. I mean, this place
Okay.
does
I'm
have
gonna
a
take a
colony.
bunch of hydrolichen anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
This place is mostly a mining colony, so... So remember, if you want to get any additional bits of loot, equipment, you go to the items area and find character equipment, or character weapons, depending on what you're going for. The sound gun can be found under character weapons, Starfleet weapons.
What about emergency transponder?
If you want to take an emergency
I'd say-
transponder, you can take an emergency transponder.
Or a pattern enhancer?
That too.
I'd say probably Bravo to take it, or Thousand-An, one of the two. Oh,
Take
he's
the
already
sound
got one on him, never mind. Yeah, Thousand-An's already grabbed it.
Cool. Which is a point. Let me take the EVA suit away from Bravo. Don't need that. Anybody else with anything else they want to take? I notice a pattern enhancer on Vibers. Everybody got what they want to take.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, the Carpathia, excuse me, just kicked my PC. The Carpathia takes
British
off.
boss.
Exactly. Takes off from the shuttle bay and starts to streak down through the atmosphere. So, because you have managed to now find a way of making a real-time map to plot out the current locations of these electromagnetic phenomena, at the very least the pockets where they're turning up. Obviously it's stronger in some parts and weaker in others, and that's what's preventing overall your inability to transport down. As you are proceeding down through the atmosphere, you do notice that a couple of those disturbances appear to be moving at random, but other than that, you have pretty much clear sailing, and you are able to touch down on the colony's main outpost without any trouble. So let me once again grab your characters from this time the Carpathia. Where's Nova? There's Nova. Where's Bertram? There's Bertram. Have I missed anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. To-doop. To-doop. Okay. And you touch down on the colony. Let me get rid of the rumble. So, The landing pad had a good bit of debris near it, which appeared to be the debris of what was it? A visible scans from orbit, no damage. The landing pad is strewn with the wreckage of a warp-capable transport ship. But that's about it. Can everybody see the map that I've currently taken you to?
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
So you are currently standing outside the runabout on the landing pad that the Carpathia landed on. The main building is here in front of you. You can see through some of the windows, and there appears to be a door by here.
Scanning for life signs.
Indeed. Nothing at the moment. It's very quiet here. In fact, all you're getting at the moment is the whistle of the wind.
Yeah, are there signs of kind of like phaser fires or signs of a struggle, blood?
So far, no.
We'd scan for life signs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No life signs currently.
Yeah, at the moment, in your near vicinity, no life signs. It's difficult to get any further than that because tricorders are rather limited in their scope, and the EM interference overall prevents you from being able to scan very well with long-range sensors on the atmosphere. Nova has just plain old walked in.
So what happens if we just use the ship's sensors where we are here? That
Like I
gives it
said,
more of a boost than our tricorders.
yes, it would be.
Or is it
But the pockets of EM interference are making it difficult to get anything definitive.
The probe we sent, is that still in the atmosphere or on the planet?
The probe you sent is still howling through the atmosphere in some other part of the planet at the moment.
Do we use that to enhance our signal? Like send it to the probe and probe?
You can certainly try. At the moment, however, most of you, whoever was on Nova Watch, has failed entirely because Nova has now gone fully inside the facility.
Yeah,
And
there
it's just
she
having
goes.
to look around. So far, Nova, all you're finding is empty rooms. The room you currently appear to be in is the sonic showers.
I guess we should get off.
Anybody who wants to
Oops,
try
sorry.
and use the ship sensors to get a better look can, of course, give me control and science or control and medicine if you're trying to do life sign scans. This would be the refreshers or the toilets, as they're also known, Nova.
If the doctor's going to lead, I'll assist.
Okay.
3 successes.
And an extra 1. 4 successes. Okay. There's definitely no definitive life signs in this area, although you get these weird positives that turn out to be nothing because they keep just blipping out. This could very much be an after effect of the EM interference in the atmosphere. Nova, you are in what appears to be the main command center of the colony's main building. All of the consoles at the moment appear to be without power. They don't appear to be damaged in any way, it just seems that they are just inert.
No signs of like plasma burns or anything like that.
No sign of plasma burns or anything like that. For those guys who were using the ship sensors to scan for general scan, actually, it seems Bertram was doing mostly life signs, but Edwards and Ori were doing general science. There are sensor scans that indicate that other buildings in the near vicinity do appear to have been attacked by what's not obvious. But there are 1 or 2 plasma burns on
I
some of
cannot
the
see
nearby buildings.
Kef does not have view of map.
Keth does not have vision. Okie dokes.
No. Nova closed the door as ran away from Kef. And I now cannot see Kef.
Actually, find the plasma burns if you could scan and see if you've got any traces of the weapon that used it. I don't see a plasma weapon.
Oh,
did you do that? You've left the doctor by the ship.
Ori's outside with him, it's fine. Those two know each other very well by now, so, you know.
Yeah.
He's got used to the feeling of the long rubber glove.
Moths crawling over his body for various reasons.
Okay, so like I said, those who are in the main room find that they are in what appears to be the main command center for the operations of this colony. And there are obviously consoles for the various activities, but they are all currently inert, without power. Nova has just found what appears to be the spare equipment room and is just basically looking out the window at Bertram and Ori, pretending she's a fish in a fish tank. Now she's pretending like she's going downstairs.
Could we jumpstart on the consoles by using the ship?
You can certainly try, yes. Keth is standing in there wondering what the hell Nova's doing, and is just looking out at Ori and Bertram to try and explain what the hell's going on here. Meanwhile,
Have you found any reason why the power is down? Like, is there sort of signs of damage from this phaser fire? Or, 'cause if not, I'd like to start scanning around to see if I can find any of the ionic, any remains of that ionic stuff that Ori and I found from the plasma in case this place was drained.
Okay, sure, by all means. By all means. That would be control and science.
Control science? You fancy helping me there, alright?
Yes.
Because you are scanning for something specific that you have encountered before, I will make this a 1 difficulty task. 2 successes from you.
Alright, what is it?
Control and science, please, Mike.
Okay.
Just 1 dice, please.
Yeah.
Ooh,
bollocks! Oops.
Whoop-a-days, as we say. You've got 2 Legion of Honors. I would suggest you use them. Or Thassadaz used 1 for you. There we go.
Thank you.
1 was going spare. Alright, fine. So, Ori comes across a patch of something, which has got an kind of this weird electro charge to it, which would probably be this here, the outside generator, which tends to connect the main building's power to the control systems of the landing pad. And it gives off a residual charge that goes off and nearly takes out Ori's tricorder. This sudden flash of charge, some kind of static charge, does bear the same traces as the plasma, the ionized plasma, insofar as it seems to have the same energy-draining properties that you have encountered.
So is this plasma sentient?
It doesn't appear so, no. But what you've encountered here isn't a blob of plasma, it's more like a residual electrostatic charge.
I'm gonna warn the rest of the away team that we detected an ionization effect on the generator here that matches the energy draining plasma. And then I'm going to suggest, unless anyone needs me for anything else, I might go to the shuttlecraft and start scanning around in case any sort of life signs or sudden sort of electromagnetic disturbances head towards the shuttle, as if it is if they can detect our energy sources, it might see the shuttle as something to drain.
Good. Okay, noted. Going back to what you were saying, Alex, about trying to coax power back into these systems.
Yes, using the ship.
Yeah, using the ship. If you really wanted
dead.
to, you could definitely jumpstart systems in here if you wanted to. Nova outside has found another. It's not so much a generator on the outside. That's more the atmospheric scrubber, like the aircon, basically. But that also shows signs of a electromagnetic discharge that has basically knocked the thing out.
Yeah, is asking the commander or even Kev for assistance, because I imagine it's going to be more of an engineering quandary rather than a scientific one.
Okay. So if Webby could be Kev, please, if you can find him.
Kev.
And
Control and engineering?
yes, control and engineering would definitely make more sense if you're trying to be more careful about how much you're trying to take power from the runabout.
Engineering maintenance as a foci?
Yeah, that would make sense.
You want to be careful, don't want to overload the system and burn it all out.
Yeah.
Before we got the information from it.
Okay, so Keth still not all that up to date on the various Starfleet methods of basically turning rocks into replicators. Nonetheless, does help Edwards somewhat. Vibers puts his ore in as well, and you coax out a good amount of successes there. So you do manage to route power back into these systems, and unfortunately, as soon as they power up, many of them do short out. So it definitely shows signs of some kind of electromagnetic disturbance, basically like an EMP. Seems to have shorted out a great deal of the electronics in here. Likewise, Nova from her vantage point and Ori from his, the two outside generators that you are close to, as soon as the power comes back on from the runabout feeding them power, they kind of chug to life but then short out. But the console near to where Keval Thazanan is sat does bleep feebly. You're next to a main computer terminal that doesn't seem to have completely shorted out. It's got some functionality left in it.
Somebody look at this.
Right, let's see if we can get the logs off it.
The only file you can get off of this terminal which isn't corrupted is a video file. And it seems to be dated around about the same time that the colony apparently went silent. When you do play the file, it appears to be the original distress call sent out by the colony. But rather than the what you would expect to be a garbled transmission, this video is reasonably clear and seems to feature the colony's commander, who was a Tellarite by the name of Nern, according to the official colony records that you got when you came, when you got given this mission. And it shows this Tellarite, who is very agitatedly talking into the camera, saying that the colony has come under attack from some kind of spaceborne creatures. You can hear some kind of strange screeching noise just off camera, as it were, as the colony commander Nern kind of turns around briefly and then redirects his attention towards the camera as he states that he is now ordering himself and all the other survivors to the colony's shelter north of the main settlement itself. And that's as much of the video as you are able to get. So,
What to leave it?
So it seems there might still be survivors, and they might very well be cooped up in this this area north of your current position. Apparently in a shelter. To get there, you're going to have to figure out where it is, but you've got a runabout, so it can't be that far. You just have to access information to see if you can find where that colony's shelter is. And of course, you have yet to meet whatever it is that's been causing these electromagnetic interferences, as well as this ionized plasma. But I am afraid we've run out of time to solve this mystery tonight. So we're going to have to wait until next week before we solve what's going on. So, I hope that you guys are all available next week.
Yep.
Yep.
Which would be the 6th of August. Awesome. In that case, we will count that as far as we go for today. Thank you very much, my dudes, for playing this with me. We seem to have a lot more fun at the start with all the silly shenanigans about nothing to do with the episode, but all about our science projects.
Science!
Science, indeed. Including the
we're having just
non-lethal
as much fun
Ushantor.
seeing- We're having just as much fun seeing the potential science fins in the episode.
But for those who are watching the stream and actually stuck around until the end, thank you very much for giving us your attention. And if you are watching this on YouTube and enjoyed it, then consider giving us a like. If you do seek to subscribe to the channel, then when you do so, click all to receive all notifications, because otherwise the algorithm gets a little bit picky over who and which videos it actually gives the privilege of displaying to people's feeds, even if you have selected to receive notifications. So please with that. But otherwise, I would ask you all to live long and prosper, and do like apparently the humans do, which is get curious about strange things in space, and then rather than actually kill said hostile things in space, run away for a little bit and re-evaluate your options.
It's the last thing they'll expect.
Exactly. Until then, there's no hot tubs here, I'm afraid. They've all ceased functioning.
That's perturbed.
Most perturbed. Or perturbed, as you say. I ruined the damn joke, damn it. Never mind. Anyway, thank you, my dudes, for going along this little journey with me. We'll have to continue it next week. In the meantime, everybody engage in the Vulcan practice of infinite diversity and infinite combinations, and we shall see when we see you next. But for the moment, hailing frequencies are closed. Toodle-bye.
Bye.